Originals, the Albany Firebirds. Fast forward to October 2000, and the Firebirds announced their move westward and into the spectacular Conseco Fieldhouse. Tonight a debut, football with a twist, nets on the ends, boards around the sidelines, and a compact playing zone with plenty of fireworks. The Arena Football League's Indiana Firebirds. The season starts next on Fox Sports Net. From the spectacular Conseco Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, the Arena Football League is the latest jewel in the crown that is Indiana sports. Tonight, the Grand Rapids Rampage and the Indiana Firebirds will debut the AFL in Conseco Fieldhouse. I'm Mark Patrick, along with former Indianapolis Colt Charles Arbuckle, bringing you tonight's coverage on Fox Sports Net. And Buck, it is going to be a tremendous night here tonight as the Indiana fans will get to see a team that's not just an expansion team.
Well, the key thing that you have to remember, this team out of 11 years in Albany were in the playoffs 9 times. So that goes to show you how good they were. And also the Arena Bowl 1999 champions. So these guys know how to play football.
And the Firebirds feature in downtown Eddie Brown. He is touchdown Eddie Brown, the best player in the history of offensive football in the Arena Football League.
They like to call him the Michael Jordan of this league. 228 touchdowns. He played 1 game last year, scored 8 touchdowns, and then retired. So this guy knows how to get the ball in the end zone, and then he does a little shimmy. You like to see him celebrate.
Clint Dolezal is one of the finest quarterbacks ever to wear a uniform in the AFL. He'll lead the Rampage tonight against the Indiana Firebirds when we return on Fox Sports Net. We're back at Conseco Fieldhouse. Mark Patrick bringing you the play-by-play coverage on Fox Sports Net of the Grand Rapids Rampage and our Indiana Firebirds. The Arena Football League is new to Indiana, and the league has a little different rules. So to take us through school, here's our own Ray DeLesio.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. To begin with, the Arena football game starts with a field that is wedged into buildings usually used for basketball or hockey. The compact playing surface is a carpeted field that is 85 feet wide and 50 yards between the end zones. The field is surrounded by padded dasher boards. The end zones have nets to ricochet kicks and passes, and goalposts for field goals and extra points are 15 feet high and 9 feet wide. Each team plays with 8 players at a time. The alignment is 4 offensive players on the line of scrimmage, and 1 receiver may be in forward motion at the time of the snap. Now, there are a few noticeable differences on the defensive side. 3 down linemen and only 1 linebacker may rush. A term you'll hear for the rushing linebacker is the MAC, and all rushing by the defense is straight upfield. There's no outside blitzes or stunts. One other thing to watch out for, the other linebacker is called the Jack. Now, he stays in an imaginary box from tackle to tackle and 5 yards deep until the play develops. Unlike outdoor football, most of the team plays both offense and defense. Substitutions are limited except for the quarterback and 1 receiver and 2 defensive specialists who are usually defensive backs. The active roster for each team is 20 players per game. Now, the compact field really changes the kicking game. You see, in arena football, there is no punting, so on 4th down, you either go for it or you kick a field goal, and that could lead to some wild action off the net. Any ball that is kicked into the net, it can be returned for a touchdown or advanced. And by the way, a pass, it can be returned off the net as well. The timing for the game is similar to the outdoor game. It's a 4-quarter game, 15-minute quarters, but a running clock except for injuries and incompletions in the final minute of each half. Now, as for the scoring, and rest assured, you're going to see a lot of it tonight. A touchdown is 6 points, a field goal is 3 points, a kicked extra point is 1, and there are 2-point conversions. Now, for an added twist, if a team chooses to drop kick a field goal, that's worth 4 points. Drop kick an extra point, that's worth 2. And that's a look at Arena Ball 101. Mark, throw it back to you.
Our calculators are out for the scoring here tonight from Conseco Fieldhouse, the Rampage, the Firebirds. Next, the kickoff on Fox Sports Net. Marsh, we value you. And by Methodist Sports Medicine in partnership with Clarion Health, the official medical provider of the Firebirds. Welcome to Conseco Fieldhouse. Mark Patrick, Charles Arbuckle, ready for tonight's kickoff of the Arena Football League in the city of Indianapolis. And Buck, what a spectacular pregame show we just saw.
Well, I'll tell you this, Mark. What you can't do is you have to hurry up and get whatever it is you want to get before the game starts and get going.
It's time for our Methodist Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Methodist Sports Medicine. And Buck, for Indiana, a couple of guys out tonight.
Dewan Alfonso, actually a guy from this area. John Bush, broken leg last week. Greg Derrick, Jake Holford.
All out, and of course, Holford with a very painful collarbone injury. But other than John Bush, guys that might be able to get themselves active before the end of this upcoming season, the inaugural season for the Firebirds in Indianapolis.
The key with it also, too, is if you go on the injury reserve list in the AFL, you're only on for 2 weeks. So you don't have to stay on like the NFL game for the whole season.
The Firebirds will be wearing their home uniforms, black pants, orange jerseys, and the distinctive black helmets with the Firebirds on the side. The Grand Rapids Rampage, other than the black helmets, look very similar to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Exactly right. And what you're going to see here now is that you kick off from the goal line. It's only a 50-yard field with 8-yard end zones. So you got to kick the ball as far as you can. You try to play it off the net, and you can see those receivers or the return guys, they have to turn their back to the return, to the kickoff team.
Nelson Garner will kick off for Indiana. Garner, one of the better kickers in the Arena Football League. 6'1" out of James Madison. Guy that's been in a couple of NFL camps, Buck.
Well, we talked about it. He was in camp with the Baltimore Ravens, actually kicked with Matt Stover there. Said Matt Stover gave him some great points, but he said it's so much different than kicking in the NFL as opposed to the AFL.
The Rampage will receive. The Firebirds have taken the air conditioning. Here is the initial kickoff of the Arena Football League in Indiana. It is into the net, and it is pulled off by Moss. He's due with 15, 20, 25, 15, and tripped up there. Great play by Nelson Garner. Otherwise, it was a quick 6 for Ricky Ross, the 5'11", 186-pound wide receiver defensive back out of Missouri.
Talking to Ernesto Pernsley, that was the one thing he was worried about. Off the net, you're going to see the ball scored right here. And then you can see the guys coming down. They were concerned that they had big guys and they were going to be able to open that wedge up the middle. Nelson Garner is a nice-sized kid, can make the tackle, but you don't want to get on your 10-yard line right away and have your defense in that hole.
Ball spotted at the 11. 1st and 10 for Cliff Dozell. Forward motion, Dozell looks. There's the quick slant drop intended for Ricky Ross. And it's broken up, but there is a flag on the play as Jay Jones was there for the Firebirds. Let's take a look at the defensive look, actually the offensive look now for the Grand Rapids Rampage. Tony Bowick, Ethan Banning, Yarnell, the center. Demo Odoms, a wide receiver with some speed. Touchdown maker Michael Baker. And of course, there he is, Clint Dozell, the quarterback, and the offensive specialist, another burner, Deion Mitchell.
Interference on the defense, number 5. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
This is the thing here. You got to give that guy some room. 5 yards, you can play with him, but if you keep on him, you cannot give him up. And you have to cover this guy. Clint Dozell is one of those guys that can make a lot of big plays. He has the ability to throw the ball off his back foot, which is essential in the AFL.
Dozell now has 1st and goal from just outside the 5. There's a quick pitch to Lincoln Coleman, and he gets down to about the 2-yard line.
Lincoln Coleman on the rush.
Lincoln Coleman is a guy that was in camp with Dallas, played with them for a few years, even won a Super Bowl ring.
Greg Hopkins there for our Firebirds. Hop is one of the legendary guys for this team.
He is. He's the jack linebacker. That's the linebacker opposite of the Mac. The Mac can blitz. Hopkins stays off, plays in coverage, but he'll come up and hit you. Model in the offseason, football player during the regular season.
Just outside the left hash mark at the 2.5-yard line as Dozell brings up the Rampage. No motion, and Coleman up the middle. It's rare that you see a lot of running plays in this league. And Coleman is stopped after about a half-yard gain. They'll spot that ball just inside the 2.
Grand Rapids feels like with their passing attack, they want to really attack you with Lincoln Coleman. He's 266 pounds, but the up-front people for the Firebirds are going to be key tonight. They have to stop him and also cover this guy right here, Dozell.
No need for Dozell to get a radio in his helmet like the NFL. Just go to the sideline, get the play from your offensive coordinator. And that's what he's gotten as they bring it up on a huge 3rd down and goal. Motion now from Mitchell. Dozell back, he looks into the end zone, he's flushed right, looks to the middle, and touchdown, Grand Rapids there on the board, the first ever touchdown in Conseco Fieldhouse, and who else but the touchdown Baker, Michael Baker.
The thing with Clint Dozell is you got to stay with him, and Baker does a great job of working inside. CC Cornelius Cole was with him, but he just kept working, and this field is not that big, so you can see guys were covered up, but Dozell was able to find his man Baker.
Extra point attempt now for Grand Rapids, and on to kick the extra point is Brian Goins. Big Ten fans will remember him kicking at Northwestern. Very small goalposts, only 8 feet wide in the AFL, and the kick is up and good. It is 7-0. Grand Rapids leads the Firebirds of Indiana. He is the touchdown maker, putting it on the boards for the Rampage.
Methodist.
Grand Rapids leads at 7-0.
And what you're going to see here is Baker is going to come in, work his way in, and then work himself out. This receiver is going to go across, and that's going to leave Cornelius Cole right here in a bind because he has to stay with Baker all through the field.
Cornelius Cole just gets himself caught up in traffic. Michael Baker knows what to do with the football after he catches it as Grand Rapids kicks off now to the Firebirds. Jay Jones plays it off to that. He's to the 10, cuts to midfield, and he'll get the ball just outside the 11-yard line of the Firebirds, and that's where they'll start their offensive night tonight. And the big news about this team is that Raymond Filaw is the quarterback. As you look at the Firebirds' history, they've always had great quarterbacks.
Phil Yaw is one of those guys that has an excellent ability to run the ball, but he has a strong arm also.
There are the offensive specialists, Phil Yaw, and touchdown, Eddie Brown. Only the greatest wide receiver in the history of this league as the Birds come up 1st and 10 from the 11. Motion to the left from Jay Jones. Phil Yaw looks. Across the middle, he goes deep. He's got Greg Hopkins, who takes the ball at the 17-yard line. Flags are down, but a great opener.
And Hopkins, we talked about being a model, but he is not a pretty boy. He will make some plays for you. And that's the thing. You got so many people to cover. You got Eddie Brown, you got all these guys, but Hopkins right here is going to come down the middle of the field. He's going to be grabbed right here and still make the play. There you see. That is how you do it. He's a possession receiver, but he has some speed as well. Nickname Hop.
The officials.
Interference on the defense, number 10. Penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
The officials mark that ball at the 14-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 for the Birds.
Mark, that's one of the keys with Phil Yaw. He has Eddie Brown. He has Greg Hopkins. He has guys around him that can make plays. All you have to do is be a point guard and distribute the ball. All you have to do with this team, and that's what Coach Mike Daly really wants.
That's a great throw from Phil Yaw to start his season, to go 1 for 1. Here's the motion from Eddie Brown. Phil Yaw fumbles the snap, and he gets back on top of it. It's going to be 2nd down and about 12.
This is what happens sometimes when you're a new starter. In the practices, you feel comfortable. You don't mind getting under there. Phil Yaw looks like he comes out a little too soon. The ball doesn't get up to him.
16-yard line is the mark, so it is 2nd and 12 for the Firebirds. You saw the motion there from Eddie Brown, and you've got to time that out. You can go in forward motion in the Arena Football League, but you can't cross the line of scrimmage before the ball snaps.
They give him a little bit of room. Some officials are more than others, but you can see Eddie Brown in this motion right now coming up, and then he's got full speed.
Phil Yaw looks at Brown. He's got him on the out pattern. Tremendous hands, and he brings the ball in at the 6.
At practice, I have not seen these guys drop many passes. They said they want to make it easy for Phil Yaw because they can get open. They feel like they can challenge this defense. You can see they play a defense where they're real tight, and you can see Eddie Brown's going to come right there over the middle, catch the ball with the hands of people. That's what you have to do to make big plays.
Getting close to Eddie's touchdown territory. He had 8 in the season opener last year for the Albany Firebirds before he retired because of some personal problems. He wants to put number 1 on the board in the history of the Indiana Firebirds here as he has the motion to the left side, running play as the ball goes to Leroy Thompson for basically no gain, and it's going to be 4th and 2 in the first decision of the year coming up for Mike Daly.
Well, what they want to do here is you can see Jay Jones going in motion. You give the appearance that you're going to give him either a pitch or give it to Leroy Thompson. Leroy Thompson's an outstanding runner, but they don't run the ball that much. They like to throw the football.
And it looks as if Mike Daly has made the decision. And the Firebirds are going to try and kick a field goal here as Nelson Garner comes on. Buck, this is a situation where if you get the right look, might try a little fake. Can't fake the field goal or extra point.
And the opposing team has to rush up the middle. They can't come outside, so that's key.
Firebirds just want to put this one on the board, and they do. As the kick is good. 7-3, the ball is in the stands. And in the Arena Football League, that one's yours to keep. More from Conseco next on Fox Sports Net.
Greece is the word, is the word, is the
Back at Conseco Fieldhouse, and this was the big play of the drive. A nice catch by Eddie Brown before the field goal by Nelson Garner puts Indiana on the board at 7-3.
And one of the keys here, there's 3-on-3. There's no plus man football, meaning you have help. When you're in the secondary, you got to cover the guy tight. You saw last week when you were at this game that 2 big plays came on short passes, so you got to cover them up. That's why those guys are grabbing and holding early. They don't want to give up the big play and be burned early in this game.
Deion Mitchell is back, as well as Michael Baker and Demo Odoms for Grand Rapids. Just off the crossbar. That's a live ball, and it's picked up, and it's a safety. Touchback. It's just a touchback in the Arena Football League. I got carried away.
Yeah. What happens in the, I did too the first time I saw that, but what happens is you have the ability to try to take the ball out, but if you can't make it out, they tackle you, it's still a touchback. Now, if you come out and then go back in, that's where you get in trouble. See, right here, you can run around all back here and do all that, but as long as you, see, it's the hardest part to play it off that rim, so to speak. They got to go for the rebound, but as long as you stay in the end zone, it comes out to the 5-yard line.
Buck, you're doing color basketball on grass right here.
That's all it is.
1st and 10. The ball comes out to the 5-yard line on touchbacks in the AFL. Dozell throws, and he's got his man on the sideline, and that's Demo Odoms. Gain of about 6.
Talking to Coach Mike Wilpott, the defensive coordinator, he said, hey, we're going to let them dink and dunk us down the field. As long as they don't make 1 or 2 big plays. You saw earlier on that kickoff return, they got down to the 10. Now they want to stay in front of them, make them play, and be physical. Cornelius Cole, CC, and Cedric Walker are guys that can really come up and hit you.
They mark that ball about the 7-yard line, so it's 2nd down and 7 for Dozell in the Rampage. 2 receivers split left, motion left. That's Deion Mitchell. He comes forward. Dozell looks at him. He's got the trick coming around. Incomplete and almost picked off on the bounce by Cornelius Coase. CC had that one, and here's a guy in AFL 2 last year, which is the minor league of the AFL, that just had a tremendous year.
169 tackles, was a key guy in that. And here we're going to see the keys to the game.
It is tonight's marquee matchup, Buck.
So excited. This is the thing. You got to have, this is for the Rampage. You got to give them hell, Dozell. Dozell has to make plays. And it's a space defense program. That means they have to go deep because the Firebirds put the ball up in the air. This is the Rampage's keys to the game.
Yo-yo motion from Michael Baker as Dozell looks at him and makes the quick throw. They've got a 1st down. About the 19-yard line. Give him some change from there. And the chains move again for the Grand Rapids Rampage, 1st and 10.
I'm so excited, I'm jumping on you. The marquee matchup. But right there, you can see they're going to keep them in front, not let them come up and make the play, and then go be physical. They want to really beat up on these guys and make Dozell think about throwing to certain people.
Ball is approaching midfield in the very shortened Arena Football League field. 25-yard line is the halfway mark. Motion on the right side by Baker. Dozell looks that way. Now goes down the middle. Overthrows him. This one is almost picked off by Coe again, and he dropped it. CC has had 2 in his hands, and they both fell through.
This guy had 9 interceptions last year. You don't see this often. Dozell does not make these many mistakes, but right here the ball gets away from him, and Cornelius Cole, CC is right there. The ball just goes right under him.
Almost looks like Dozell lost his footing back there a little bit. And, you know, Buck, good pressure that time from the Firebirds, and sacks are very rare in this league as we're facing a 2nd and 10 now for the Rampage. 2 receivers split right. To the left is Deion Mitchell. He's in yo-yo motion now. Dozell looks, throws at Mitchell. He's got the catch and drops it at about the 22-yard line.
The key with this game is you have to use this board as your defender. You got to let it help you. Cedric Walker, who's been in the league for about 5 years, has the ability to do that. He can make, you're going to see him one-on-one with Deion Mitchell. Mitchell, outstanding player at Northern Illinois. Watch this. Boom, I'm going to hit you. Now, you better catch the ball if you're going to come in my area. And Cedric Walker will talk a lot more.
Ball's a little behind him. Dozell not as sharp as he normally is here. They talk about guys in the NFL that can go across the middle and catch the ball. You got to be able to go across the middle and go to that sideline in the AFL. 3 receivers right. Motion now. Deion Mitchell. Yo-yo. Dozell back. He looks to the sideline across the middle. He's got Mitchell with a nice catch there to about the 17, 18-yard line. They'll mark it, and that's another first down for Grand Rapids.
That was a nice play by Grand Rapids. And what you're going to see, Jay Jones is also in the secondary. He will never line up on the motion guy. They want to put him on a stationary guy. That's Jay Jones because he's a two-way player. Cedric Walker and CC are the guys that want to line up on the yo-yo motion, the zoom motion, the zap motion, because they feel like with this guy here, he's good enough to play. Got great football intelligence, but he's so used to playing wide receiver as well.
Jay Jones is out of James Madison along with Nelson Garner, teammates at James Madison. Teammates now for our Indiana Firebirds as Dozell is back on 1st and 10. Quick swing pass outside, and it could not be handled by Marcellus Mostella out of Auburn.
Once again, you get to taste the flavor of Greg Hopkins. Hop will come over. You can see him right here. He's going to come and just blow up that shot right there. You can see they don't waste time. You got to read and react. Hop is a jack linebacker. He's going to come over and just knock you out when he gets a chance. He doesn't rush, but he has the ability to be like the 4th defensive back. That's where they like to use him.
The jack linebacker has to play between the tackles and about 5 yards deep from the line of scrimmage. If the ball hits the ground in the backfield, he can rush. As it's 2nd and 10 now for Dozell. A little yo-yo motion on the left side from Baker. He looks at him, the pump. He throws into the end zone, and again, he just throws it away. If that ball goes into the net, it's live.
And I'll tell you what, they are putting pressure on him today. That's why Dozell is not able to get the ball off. You're going to see these guys in the secondary, they haven't been here long enough, but you can see Leroy Thompson coming in hard, and then Dozell has to get rid of it. You don't have time to wait. They do a lot of 3- and 5-step drops.
John Sikora putting on some good pressure. Big number 98 out of Slippery Rock, 285 pounds.
And the key with that backer, number 33, he has to go in the A gap, meaning he has to stay between the guard and the center or the center and the tight end.
3rd down conversion time again for the Rampage. They've done it well so far. 3rd down and 10 this time from the 29. Motion again coming from Mitchell. Dozell goes to the sideline, and it is ruled a completion. As the official rules that Mitchell would have come down inbounds had he not been hit.
Unbelievable catch. I mean, you can't do anything else if you're the defensive back. Right here, Mitchell runs an out route. Cedric Walker just tries to push him over. And you can see the pressure being put right there. The inside guys are really trying to apply pressure. Right there, you can see Cedric Walker can't play any better defense than that. Great play by Deion Mitchell.
And a great play by the lady in the tan sweater who rapped. She did a nice job rapping over there. That's why they call it the nosebleed section. 1st and goal for Grand Rapids as Baker goes in motion. Run! Dozell looks at Baker, throws at Mitchell, and it's overthrown. It'll be 2nd and goal.
You got to give the player back. You got to give him back. He has to come back. You keep the ball.
The player comes back, and a young guy makes the play down there. Buck, he's got the football, and he's going to go home happy. Did you know that's a $6,000 value?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, is that inflation? I mean, is it because of I thought we were in a recession, man.
Yeah, it's inflated. Look at that.
Look, they switched seats. He said, now next time I'm going to get the ball. You got that one, I'm going to get the other one.
It is 2nd and goal at the 7-yard line for the Rampage, who have had their way so far here in the 1st quarter. We've got 1:35 going. Dozell is 5 for 10 so far. He looks for his 6th completion. He's got it with Michael Baker, and he steps out of bounds at about the 5-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd and goal at the 5.
That's what you really have to watch. Now, the boards are there, but you still have that out-of-bounds lines. You can see where the official's foot was standing. He has to be careful because he can get hit.
Dozell is 6 for 11 now for 42 yards.
right here you can see he throws the ball, and this line right here, you can't be out of bounds. See the official right there, good call by him. I'm gonna give you that when you do good.
Tell you what, Buck, I have never seen anybody better on that telestrator. Dozell now with some hand signals. He's got two receivers to the right. He's got Mitchell in motion. 3rd and goal at the 5. He looks into the end zone, throws it up in the air. There's a flag down, as that was intended in the end zone and broken up by Cedric Walker, but
it's going to be on Cedric Walker, and I'll tell you why. This team, Grand Rapids, likes to run routes where they do most like the dig. They'll spin out of a route. Cedric Walker's going to see this receiver. It's more inside. You're not going to see it on this replay, but inside, he's grabbing the guy that's running the route. You can see right there, Cedric Walker.
Pass interference on the defense, number 2. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
And unlike the NFL where they put that ball at the 1 yard line, you only get half the distance to the goal on that penalty in the end zone.
You know, the thing about this, you're on an island. In the NFL, they would have some inside help. Cedric Walker has this man to man. And if you're not getting any pressure, which you're not going to get on the 3-step drop, you have to really mug the guy, so to speak.
Here's Dozell now with a 1st and goal at the 3, and that should be motion on Baker as he got a little quick start. I'll tell you what, the end zone gets close, and Michael Baker, the touchdown maker, is just getting a little antsy.
Illegal procedure, illegal snap on the offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now, the center is not
fair. No, that's not fair.
You got to know the snap count.
Poor Joe Wiley, you know, it's the only time we're going to mention his name tonight, unless he does something big defensively, because they call his number. And look what they do to him. They call a penalty on him, and we're gonna say it was on Michael Baker.
What would Keith Jackson call him?
Oh, tell you, he is just one of the big old uglies up front there. Here comes Baker in motion. Dozell looks the other way, throws the quick slant, and a nice play by Jay Jones to bring down Demo Odoms.
I'll tell you what else changes in this game. It's so much different with the ability to throw the ball.
The first quarter is over from Conseco Fieldhouse. The Firebirds trail the Rampage, who are threatening 7-3. The second quarter is next on Fox. Those are some genius fans, Buck. How in the world did they know we were going to be on hand here? Now, there's some people that read the paper. Firebirds are back home for the second home game, Saturday, April 28th. Then catch Indiana against the Orlando Predators. Good tickets are still available. Visit any Ticketmaster to get yours or call by phone 317-239-5151.
They're coached by Jay Gruden, John Gruden's brother.
Who was one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of this league. I think he's a Hall of Famer in the arena football.
Put up great numbers. I mean, and he's turned out to be a great coach down there. So that's the thing about this. This league is designed for receivers and quarterbacks to get a chance. Kurt Warner, prime example, but Aronde Gaskin and more guys that you'll see probably coming out of this league because of the passing game.
2nd and goal at the 2 for the Rampage. A great rush as Lincoln Coleman is taken down at about the 5-yard line. Great defensive call by the Firebirds defensive coordinator Mike Wilpott on that.
Mike Wilpott seemed like he was on the other side of the field because he called a perfect play for that situation. This line, you're going to see them all slant over there and make the play. You see guys just coming around the football. That's what you have to do. You only have 8 men. So if you get 4 of them, that's outstanding. And you're going to see the reaction by CC. And Umar Muhammad will get up and make a nice gesture.
Let's get a little bit of that here in the Arena Football League. Let's see what the Birds do this time. As motion is Deion Mitchell. Dozell looks into the end zone. The quick slant he's got. Michael Baker, another touchdown made.
I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with Dozell's ability to go on his back foot and just fire the rocket. I mean, this coming out of his arm. He's a hired gunslinger. They brought him in here to do just that. And the Firebirds have to find the answer to the question. It made him take a long time, but still got in the end zone.
Dozell was a free agent. Grand Rapids, under the AFL salary cap, decided to make him their biggest investment. It's paying off so far as the Rampage is on one right now as they get the extra point attempt from Brian Goins. He's got it up, and it is between the uprights, and it is 14-3 Rampage over the Firebirds. 13:30 left in the inaugural half of Arena Football League from Indianapolis. The Last Word on Fox Sports Net. Romy tells it like it is on the nightline of sports talk shows. Jim Rome and The Last Word weeknights at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
I'm out.
Rack him.
Have a take, don't suck.
That was Charles Arbuckle's take. I'm Mark Patrick. Back at Conseco Fieldhouse, and the home team, Indiana Firebirds, reeling right now from the offensive rampage of Grand Rapids. Look at the time of possession. 13:24 so far for Grand Rapids.
You want to make them make a mistake. Mike Wilpott said that, but he said also we got to stop them once they get inside the 5 and 10 yard line.
Here's the kickoff off the net. Big bounce. Eddie Brown takes it at about the 3. Works his way up to the sideline, down to about the 12. And that's where the Firebirds will take over for their next possession.
This guy, the up guy, is so important. Eddie Brown is the up guy. You have one guy in the end zone. The up guy has to catch the ball off of the net, or if it comes in the field of play. You can see right here, kickoffs from the goal line, out of bounds, kickoffs or at spotter 20. No punting. Receiving team may field kick ball off the net. You saw it right there.
Well, the Firebirds hope to get things started here a little bit as Raymond Filia is getting comfortable in the Conseco Fieldhouse surroundings. He's got Eddie Brown in yo-yo motion. Filia with a 3-step drop. There's a flag as the ball goes into the air. Brown gets it for the Birds. Touchdown, Birds. But there's a flag, and it's always holding in that area, Buck.
Once again, the offensive lineman. How does Keith do it? Oh, uglies. Anyway, they're going to bring it back. There was holding on the defensive end.
Well, it was holding on the tight end.
Well, he was holding the defensive end.
I see what you're saying now.
Let me make myself
Holding
clear.
on the offense, number 54, half the distance to the goal, still first down.
Well, it was a great-looking play for Mike Daly's team nonetheless, and you see why Eddie Brown's the greatest receiver in the history of this league.
What Eddie does so well also, besides catching the ball, is able to get it. He hits the guy's hands. He'll do everything he can to disrupt the defender that's running with him.
Filia was on the money, and he'll need to be again as his team's backed up now to the 6-yard line. It is 1st and 15 now for the Firebirds. Van Johnson in motion. Filia with a quick screen out to Brown, and there's absolutely no block that time by Ricky Hall.
That particular play right there, the defender came up even closer. Rodney Blackshear, homeboy out of Houston, comes up and plays real tight. What happens is the big lineman tries to come over and block. He's not going to get there. You can see how Blackshear is playing in tight. So right there, the play is nullified from the beginning. Normally they play off 5 yards. Blackshear says, hey, I'm going to get up on Eddie Brown. He's not going to beat me.
2nd and 19 now. Firebirds going in the wrong direction in this one. Greg Hopkins in motion now. Filia back into his own end zone, looks to the middle of the field. He's got Hop, but it's overthrown at about the 17. Hop with not enough hops to catch that one.
Well, Hop is there. The thing is, Filia puts that a little bit high and wide.
Inordinately bad trouble now for the Firebirds as the bad field position has them back down to the 4-yard line with this 3rd down and 19.
Coach Daly kept talking about we can't beat ourselves, and that's one of the things in this first half they're doing, making penalties that they normally don't make.
Eddie Brown comes now into motion. Filia back again. He looks at Brown and he throws it Eads way, and he drops the football as it's broken up nicely by Tristan Moss, who just got a hand in there as Brown was trying to bring it down.
That's the hardest catch to make because you're trying to bring the ball down, and normally what you do is you pull it down. Eddie Brown has great hands, but that's one of the toughest catches to make across the middle.
Well, here's what you'll see in the Arena Football League that you'll never see in the National Football League, is Eddie Brown is just unable to hang on to that football for a first down.
And nice play by Tristan Moss. He waited until Eddie touches the ball and goes for the strip, and that's the hardest thing to hold on to, that pigskin.
54-yard field goal attempt now for the Firebirds. And it's a pooch. And it's picked up and fumbled. There's a loose football. Let's see what happens. It's recovered by the Rampage. Greg Hopkins made a big hit down there, but it wasn't enough, Buck. It did get a loose football. But the Rampage will have great field position again. Let's look at the replay here. What's happening?
Now, you don't have to go all the way down the field. The ball becomes live, and see, you can see right there, they have to block that man, and Hop is trying to come over and really slam and try to recover this football.
You can still see Hop and all the Firebirds with season tickets for the Birds' first season in Conseco Fieldhouse. Good location season ticket packages are available. Call 317-917-2500. Ask for information about the Firebirds' season tickets. 1st and 10 now for the Rampage, who have had their way big time here so far with 10 minutes now and running left in the second quarter. Dozell looks. He throws off the net into the end zone. That's an intentional play, Bud.
Throw it away. Right there, Dozell has nobody. That's a veteran move. Smart move by him because the secondary was excellent coverage, which they've been doing all game. You can see right here.
He's got to be accurate because if this ball bounces off the net, it's live.
Exactly. He has enough presence of mind to say, I'm going to throw this ball where the soft net is, so even if it hits it, it'll just come right down.
This is where he says, maybe I should put on a skirt because I didn't want to take the hit.
Good call by you, Mark.
2nd down and 10 now for Dozell in the Rampage as he looks left, throws left, and he's got his man, Ricky Ross, brought down short of the first down at around the 13-yard line.
I'll tell you what, the Rampage are doing something different. When you watch them on film, they were really attacking, attacking the field. They were going downfield. This week, they're really going the short 3-step, 5-step drops, really making it with those quick hit plays. So it's tough for the Firebirds to defend that. They have to come up with a way to stop them.
3rd and 1. Conversion percentage has been spectacular so far for the Rampage. In motion on the left side, Ricky Ross. Quick screen outside, and he's got a first down. That's Rodney Blackshear out of Texas Tech. He gets the ball to about the 10-yard line, and that is going to be just on the line, so it will be 1st and goal at the 10-yard line for Grand Rapids.
Sounds funny to hear that. So close. The real key here, that's a running play, but you throw the ball quickly to Rodney Blackshear. You don't have a chance to get out there. You get the big uglies out front. You try to block for them. You pick up the first down. What the Firebirds have to do is they have to come up now. They may have to be more aggressive because you don't want to let this game get too far out. Doesn't matter if you're down by 17 points. You can come back in this league.
Unfortunately, Firebirds may have that opportunity here if Dozell can punch it in again. He's got motion from Deion Mitchell. He looks his way, now throws outside. Ross makes the catch, works his way back down to about the 6-yard line, where he's brought down by Cedric Walker.
And you can see now some of the substitutions are starting to come in. Carl Sacco is now at the jack position right here from the low angle. You're going to see Umar Muhammad trying to come in with the pressure. Dozell just gets the ball off. Cedric Walker comes up. And here you're going to see, this is where you got to make that guy give the ball up. He's carrying it loose. Come on up and hit Ricky Ross. Knock it out if you can.
2nd and goal at the 6. And where the ball is spotted right now is as far toward the sideline as you'll see the officials spot the football in the Arena Football League. Dozell looks. He's got the quick slant. He's got the 6 from Rodney Blackshear. 14-3 becomes 20-3 now for the Rampage with 7:09 left in the half.
And the Rampage are doing an excellent job of sending this yo-yo motion or zoom or whatever they want to do. And when they do that, they send that one guy that's in motion firing off. Then the other guy comes underneath. And that makes it tough to defend if you're the outside defender.
Brian Goins has had nothing to do but kick off and then kick extra points so far for Grand Rapids as he goes for the 21st point of the half for the visitors from the frozen tundra in the north. This is point number 21, up and good, and the Rampage have an 18-point lead with 6:34 remaining in the half. The Birds need to break out of the cage. Can they do it next on Fox Sports Net? Every Sunday before the green flag drops, it's NASCAR This Morning, the best pre-race tailgate party this side of Talladega. We'll preview the latest developments trackside and get you ready for this week's race. NASCAR This Morning tomorrow at 10 a.m. here on Fox Sports Net. 21-3 now, Rampage over the Firebirds with 6:34 left in the half.
You see that motion coming in front of CC, and then outside is Van Johnson. He has to come up real quick, and when Blackshear gets that opening, it's all pitch and catch for Dozell and Blackshear.
Some big numbers being put on the board by Clint Dozell so far as the kick goes on the fly to Van Johnson. He's down the middle now to the 10, 15. Nice sidestep to the 20. He's got the sideline. Goins is the only man there to stop him, and he pushes him out of bounds at the 19. Flags are down. It looks like it'll be a personal foul on the Rampage, which has improved the Birds' position even more.
Silky smooth Van Johnson. He's smoother than a steak and shake, boy, I tell you, because this guy has done this all his career and really is coming on strong. They say he makes it look too easy.
There are not enough O's in the word smooth for Van. Officials talk this one over. Flag is down at the 15, which is around the spot of the football, so we'll see what they're deciding on this one.
And, you know, Mark Valvo goes over. His nickname is Biggs. He's the captain of the team. He wants to be a wrestler when he's done. He goes over to enforce the rule. You can see right away. He works as a correctional officer in the offseason. These guys have real jobs, people.
It's great to be a corrections officer in the Arena Football League. You could correct the officials if need be.
Now look at Van Johnson.
Personal foul number 23 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
You'll see the personal foul right there. It's actually on number 33.
Exactly.
JoJo Pope.
And JoJo comes over. You know, Van is nuts. JoJo tries to come in. He didn't make the play earlier. I got to hit you, man.
JoJo, your middle name's illegal. An illegal poke from 33 as he heads over to his left corner position now on defense as the Rampage look across the line at the orange of the Indiana Firebirds. It's the best field position of the night for the home team as Raymond Filion has first and goal just inside the 10. Sacco in motion, in for Greg Hopkins now, and Filion goes back, looks at Sacco, and it's knocked down by number 70, Tony Bowick, the big offensive defensive lineman out of UT Chattanooga, 267 pounds.
You'll see more blocked balls sometimes than you will sacks in this league. You'll see that from the jack backer. You'll see this guy. Watch right here. Filion gets the drop back, and he stops right there. The defender knows he can't get to him.
Just 5 pass attempts on the night, 3 of 5 for Raymond, 32 yards. He wants to add 9 more to that total really badly now. Second and goal from the 9. Sacco again in motion, and that's where Filion looks. Inside, the quick slant is dropped by Van Johnson.
The other thing that's occurring, Mark, is that they're holding the ball, the Rampage off for so long that when the Firebirds get it right here, they feel that sense of urgency. Now, that could have been a penalty right there. You can see him holding Van Johnson's other arm.
Yeah, Rodney Blackshear was there maybe a little early. I think what we need to do is set up the officials on the field with a microphone here, an earpiece for them, Buck. We can make the calls much better than they can. 3 of 7 now for Filion. Third down, goal at the 9 for the Birds. Eddie Brown in motion. Filion back, looks at Eddie, and it's picked off and then dropped by Michael Baker, but there's a flag. And the Firebirds are saying that Eddie Brown got interfered with.
That may be the case. I think what it is, too, it looks like Baker was outside the box. He has to stay in front of the umpire. He gets outside of that box.
Illegal defense number 6, Jack linebacker out of the box. Half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
That is exactly the call, and Marshall Foreman, the defensive coordinator for Grand Rapids, says, "Oh, fruit."
He's going to blow a gasket. I tell you, you got to use the official almost as your guy when you touch him. You see Greg Hopkins doing that, Carl Sacco, you got to stop. Boom.
Huge call, not for just the 5 yards, but because it is now first and goal inside the 5 for the Firebirds. Sacco in motion right. Rare running play to Leroy Thompson, and he finds the sideline at about the 3.5. This is not a running lead, Buck.
You're not going to see a lot of runs. I mean, the fullbacks are like guards, almost tackles. I mean, Leroy Thompson is smaller at this position, 259 pounds.
Leroy out of Delaware at just 6 feet. He doesn't spread that 259 over a lot.
The first guy I met when I came up to football practice, they were doing one-on-one. He said, "I love this grits and gravy." That's what they call a one-on-one drill, because it's just you and the other guy.
And it looks like he loves grits and gravy literally as well. It is now second and goal from the 3.5. Oh, a nice reverse to Eddie Brown. And The pass is caught by Van Johnson. Touchdown. That's a great play.
A little razzle-dazzle here. Now you see Eddie Brown doesn't cross the line, and he's thrown some touchdowns in his career. Outstanding play.
That could be the worst looking pass in the history of organized football. That looks like one right out of the backyard.
Philly almost didn't get the pitch, and watch Eddie Brown stops and then throws the ball. He doesn't have time to set up. But Van Johnson.
I tell you what, he had to the 3.5 yard line to get rid of that, and it happened at the 3 3/4.
He was awful close.
For the extra point now, Nelson Garner is on. That was one the Birds needed badly. There's a rush up the middle. Ryan almost gets the block. He flattens Garner. The kick is good. And that brings it 21-10 Rampage over the Firebirds. Van is the man. The Birds are back in it on Fox Sports Net. Mark Patrick and Charles Arbuckle back at Conseco Fieldhouse. And Indiana has closed the gap now to 21-10. Buck, I thought that was a run all the way. I thought Eddie Brown was going to try and make it into the end zone.
Well, I was with you also. You can see the kid with the cotton candy probably wasn't fooled because he had his mouth full of the cotton candy. The key is they use that play. Eddie Brown has carried the ball for 17 touchdowns in his career, so you know they can run the football, but what he'll do is you can see that 4-yard pass from Brown to Johnson. Great play call by Mike Hotchkiss, Ed Hotchkiss, the offensive coordinator.
5 plays, 9 yards. Those are some drives right there. Covering 236, the big play, the penalty against the Rampage.
And also the big return by Van Johnson. You got to reward him with an outstanding return with the touchdown.
Garner with the kickoff. This one's going to be short of the net and fielded by Baker at the end zone. As he brings it out, he's to the 10, gets out to almost the 12-yard line, and that's where the next drive will start for the Grand Rapids Rampage, who have yet to be stopped here tonight.
And you can see the changeup. You don't kick it into the net all the time. See, the one key with this team, the Rampage, they have bigger guys. They have 210, 205 return men. So you got to get the ball and get down quick and not let them get up the field and make big plays.
There's Clint Dozell, who likes Fruity Pebbles for breakfast, Buck. I tell you what, Mickey Tettleton of the old Baltimore Orioles used to eat Fruit Loops, so Dozell is 13 and 19 for 73 yards and 3 TDs tonight. The Fruity Pebbles will be on everybody's breakfast table tomorrow morning in Grand Rapids. To the 16-yard line with the pass goes Demo Odoms, and it's going to be about a 2nd down and 5 for Grand Rapids.
You know, I'm really amazed that Grand Rapids isn't challenging the Firebirds down the field. I really thought in watching them in films that they would really go after them, but it's smart in a sense because you got Cedric Walker and Cornelius Coe, and you saw earlier in the game when he was a little shaky, he threw some balls up there, so the Firebirds have to hope he'll make those mistakes again.
2nd and 5, Mitchell in motion. Dozell looks left, throws left. He's got the quick slant to Baker again. That'll be a 1st down. He's at the 23-yard line now. Not yet in Birds territory, but enough for a 1st down for the Rampage.
And on this particular play, they tried to come with a different change. Cornelius Coe, you can see coming into your screen quicker. They kind of jacked it off. Cornelius Coe came up quick, and the other defender backed off, Ray Jackson. They'll change up sometimes and run some zone principles, but a lot of times it's straight man-to-man.
Cornelius Coe making the transition from AFL 2 to the Arena League this year. And though he was probably the best defender in AFL 2 again, he's seen some quickness here he didn't see in that way. Motion now again as Dozell goes back to pass. He looks right, he throws right. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete around the 5.
Good play. You're starting to see Cornelius Coe and Cedric Walker get comfortable. Cornelius Coe is up tight. Cedric Walker is deep. They have to kind of cover the guy high-low. But that was a great play by the line at the line of scrimmage of tipping the football as well.
58 seconds left in the half. That means it's time for the 1-minute warning. The Arena Football League with a 1-minute warning. And this means the clock will now stop with every incomplete pass, Buck.
Basically, the college rules come into play. 1st downs, the clock stop. Everything almost makes this clock stop in a sense. And this is where the game really gets excited.
Especially at the end of the game. Because even if a team is down 14, 21 points with the 4 15-minute quarters running clock, except in this final minute of each half for an injury timeout, each team can use their timeouts, use the incomplete passes, and get something on the board quickly. Odins catches the ball at the 19, gets up, and that's about where they'll mark it, as that is just short of a first down, sets up about a 3rd and 1. With 45 seconds remaining now in the half, the clock continues to run with the catch.
Now, if he went out of bounds, the clock would stop. If it was incomplete pass, the clock would stop.
Firebirds saving their 3 timeouts if they get the football back. Or the big stop here on 3rd and 1. Mitchell in motion. Dozell back, looks at Mitchell, throws into the end zone, and it's too far, just out of his reach. Good coverage from Cedric Walker.
That's why you sign this guy up. That's why you bring Cedric Walker in this league from the Arizona team and comes out. Here you're going to see Cedric Walker. That's a great ball by Dozell. Deion Mitchell, a young guy in this league, a rookie. You can see right there the ball just outside of his hands.
Nobody but Mitchell could have made that catch. And you see why Dozell is considered perhaps the top quarterback in this league.
They ran in the warm-ups probably 20 to 30 corner routes or sail routes. He's throwing the ball every single time I saw him right at that pylon down there.
Biggest down of the night for the Firebirds here. 4th and 1 from the 19. They're just trying to draw them offside, and it's not going to happen, so Dozell burns the first time out with 23 seconds left.
The old freeze play. Troy Aikman used to do a great job of this, who just retired. I played with in college. He would do this outstanding and get the guys offside.
You're always dropping names. Buck, is there anybody in the history of the NFL you didn't play with?
There's a lot of guys I didn't play with, but I played with them in college. So, you know, I feel like, hey, I started him off. I was his first tight end, then he went to Jay Novacek or some of those other guys.
You know, I thought that was huge of Troy Aikman when he retired. He said, Charles Arbuckle has moved on to other things after football. It's time for me.
He doesn't remember. Hey, you know, the thing is, Troy's like Elvis now. You go down to Dallas, he used to have a place they probably called Graceland. He's moving out to California. You can't find him anywhere.
Oh, Buck, it's me, Troy. How you doing, man? Brian Goins. You know, one thing that is exactly the same in the Arena Football League and the National Football League, the kickers' helmets and face masks look really dorky. Brian Goins is proving that here. The Northwestern kicker armed for a 36-yard field goal. Actually, it's 34 yards because the end zone's only 8 yards. Here's the kick. It is high enough and good. Into the stands, another souvenir, and the Rampage now lead it by a 24-10 spread with 18 seconds left. Plenty of time for the Firebirds.
You got to feel good if you're the Firebirds, though, because you stop them. You don't give up a touchdown.
They did a nice job on the 3rd and short. They got the break, forced a timeout, and now with 18 seconds left, plenty of leg there from Goins over the net.
You know, and just to remind you, this is only 9 feet wide. I mean, the pro game, outdoor game is 18 feet. So, I mean, you got a big difference. You can see right here, this is not much room. I mean, you don't have much space. That's an awful tough kick. And it's even more intimidating when you go on the field and really look at it. I mean, if I were a kicker, I would think, I don't know how I get it through there.
That is tighter than my wallet, Buck. It's unbelievable. There's Dozell, and here's the drive as the Rampage put on a 25-yard exhibition in just 6 plays, covering 243, and ends with Goins' first field goal of the night. He's got 3 extra points to add to it, and it totals 24 for the Rampage. The Birds with just 10. Deep for the Firebirds. Jay Jones hopes to change things around. There's the kick. It'll be short of the net, and here comes Jones to the 5-10, middle of the field, and he's brought down there on a nice play by Ethan Banning, a 6'4", 292-pounder out of Eastern Illinois. First down and 10 at their own 10. 15 seconds for Raymond Filiaw to do some work for the home team. The Firebirds have struggled offensively here tonight. Their only touchdown set up by a tremendous return by Van Johnson on a kickoff. See how Philyaw can use the clock here. Here's Greg Hopkins is in motion. Back into the game for the Birds. Philyaw looks, has time, throws it to the sideline. He's got Hop at about the 24-yard line, and the clock will stop for the first down. The referee now starts it again, and it's a timeout for the Birds.
This is the toughest route to recover. I mean, you cannot really cover it because you can see Hopkins coming around, and he already is in motion going full speed, so the defender has to give up some ground in order to stop the receiver from making the play.
Jay Jones did a nice job of clearing out that area deep, and it was just an underneath pattern for Greg Hopkins. And there's Philyaw and Coach Mike Daly trying to get more points on the board for the Birds.
They call him an offensive genius. The guys love the way he designs plays, like that one play down there in the goal line. But what they really like is that, you know, they say the family atmosphere. A lot of these guys, you know, have regular jobs. Some of them don't. But what they feel is a good camaraderie. And they feel like if Philyaw can develop into the kind of quarterback that they need, this offense will prosper in Indianapolis.
That's the second catch of the night for Greg Hopkins. 34 yards total for Hop so far. And that is the first time out of the half. So if the Firebirds can somehow squeeze it in the 9 seconds, they do have 2 remaining. Philyaw returns now. He's got the play from Mike Daly. 6 of 8 for 46 yards. No touchdowns yet for Raymond. First starting assignment in the Arena Football League. He's got to feel a little bit more comfortable now than it started with. We'll see if he continues to improve. 1st and 10 at the 24. Eddie Brown in motion. Philyaw back. 4-step drop. Throws across. Has Eddie open, and there's a flag. A perfect place for that to happen.
Well, Polk is going to turn around and say, I didn't do anything. Come on, JoJo. Give up the goods, man. You know,
see him get grabbed right here.
Eddie Brown with
ball is in the air. And JoJo's hand clearly around it. I'll tell you what, Buck, I didn't get that good a grab my junior prom.
Well, the thing with this is Eddie Brown has a great ability to make the moves. And, you know, if you're from Indianapolis, you remember a guy by the name of Bill Brooks. They said Bill wasn't very fast, you know, couldn't get down the field, but Bill Brooks put up a lot of yards. And I think the same thing with Eddie Brown. He's able to do the certain things to make it happen when you need it to.
Here's the call now from the officials as they step it off. This is going to give the Firebirds some great field position at about the 16-yard line. This must be a really dramatic call because he's really building this up.
Pass interference on the defense, number 33. 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Not at the spot of the foul, Buck, but the automatic first down, the 10-yard penalty. And with just 4 seconds left, Mike Daly brings in his field goal kicker, Nelson Garner. 31-yard field goal for Garner. Just 4 seconds left. And it is no good. Just off to the left as the horn sounds. Grand Rapids, 24. The Firebirds 10 as we go to the half. A disappointing performance in their inaugural game at Conseco Fieldhouse for the Firebirds, but a lot of football left for the second half. Buck, you gotta believe that the Firebirds are going to talk about more than a few things defensively in that locker room.
Oh, you're exactly right.
We'll take a break. Grand Rapids leads it by 14. We'll be back with the halftime on Fox Sports Net. Indiana Firebirds trail the Grand Rapids Rampage 24-10 in the inaugural half of arena football in the city of Indianapolis. Of course, the Firebirds brought here by Glenn Missoula, who is the owner of our Indiana Firebirds, and we had a chance to talk about that move with the new owner before our game tonight.
Yeah, obviously there's a transition involved in not just moving a team, but a management staff as well to Indianapolis.
That's true. We felt that we had to make the move, and down here it was a big transition. We had staff that was that lived and was dedicated to the Albany area. And fortunately for me, they agreed to relocate down here, and I believe that they're exceptionally happy down here. I know I'm happy being down here, and I'm sure that they are as well.
And I hope the people of Indianapolis realize that this football team is is not an expansion football team at all, but one that won the Arena Bowl just 2 years ago.
That's correct. This is my 12th year as an owner in Arena Football. I'm the oldest, not the oldest, but I'm the longest continuous owner of an Arena Football team. This is going in my 12th year, and I was in Albany for 11 years. And I'm not the type of person that's just going to bounce from town to town, but it was in Albany. I believe Albany, we just outgrew Albany. The Arena Football League outgrew a city the size of Albany. In the last couple of years, I noticed that after the year I won my Arena Bowl, we had a harder time than we had ever had. A lot of it's due to the progress that's happening with our league, with the expansion with the NFL and NFL's involvement, the players' bargaining agreement that took place and came into effect last year. It's going to impact metropolitan areas the size of Albany. Mm-hmm. And it did. We had Iowa move to Long Island, and that's the New York team. Hartford moved to Toronto. We moved out here to Indianapolis. My way of thinking is the best thing I've ever done, so I'm happy with the move.
And obviously Conseco Fieldhouse was a very welcoming sight once you were able to come to town and see where your new home would be.
It was phenomenal. I mean, the first time I walked into the Fieldhouse, when I walked into the major opening downstairs in the foyer down there, I said, this is where I want to play. This is where I want to be. It's a beautiful facility. It's a state-of-the-art facility. It offers all the accommodations that a professional team needs. It's just right, and it's in a city that I believe has a lot of potential. And the relationship that we have with the Pacers Sports and Entertainment, allows us to get into a market quicker than we could have if we went to a place where we didn't have that type of a relationship. So it gave us the opportunity to get our name out there, explain to the community what we were, and hopefully they'll come down to see us.
We're glad you're home. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Glenn Missoula, the owner of the Indiana Firebirds. Grand Rapids is on fire in the first half. They lead the Birds 24-10. More of halftime is next. We're back at Conseco Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis. Mark Patrick and Charles Arbuckle on Fox Sports Net. Grand Rapids leading at 24-10 here. Buck, the home team is down, but just as promised, this has been nonstop action in the first half.
Hey, I tell you, ball and boogie is what you get here. These guys ball beats and boogie because you can knock guys off the wall. You can do pretty much anything you want. The key is stay in your seat. Don't leave because these guys will make some big things happen.
And it is going to be a big scoring second half. The Indiana Firebirds fans that have gathered here tonight at Conseco Fieldhouse hope that it's the home team that'll be clicking the board. Clint Dozell has had his way so far. We'll show you the first half highlights when we return. Hey, Mommy, can I sit in your lap? Grand Rapids leads it at the half 24-10, and it didn't take us long to find out why they call Michael Baker the touchdown maker.
Well, he's able to get inside, work back out. Cornelius Cole has to stay there, but he loses coverage. And right here, quick slant again. Cornelius Cole is up to the challenge, but Michael Baker's giving him some love too. You can see right there, Rodney Blackshear, they're running a lot of slant routes and working back out, but I like this play right here. Eddie Brown, he not only catches them, but he throws them as well.
Van Johnson got to 6. But not quite enough yet for the Firebirds as they trail it by 14 at the half.
Look at that time of possession. That's a key. And then the total yards. The Grand Rapids Rampage holding the ball so long, of course they're going to have more yards.
The Dr. Pepper team possessions shows you why the dominating team so far has been the Rampage of Grand Rapids. But a big offensive outburst is expected in the second half from the home team when we return on Fox Sports Net. Grand Rapids leads it at the half, 24-10. Let's go down to the field now with Ray DeLessio.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. And Mike, I would imagine one of the keys in the second half is to find a way to stop Clinton Tozell in those short underneath routes.
He's really done a great job. You know, they're a good football team. We didn't play as well as we could have the first half. We made some mistakes. We had a touchdown call back on a holding. Had a couple hands on balls for interceptions, didn't make the play. We got to make the play, and we got to be a little more physical out there.
All right, Mike, best of luck in the second half. Mark?
All right, thanks, Ray. Coach Mike Daly there. And Buck, tell me this one isn't true. Don't you think that Mike looks like a young John Madden?
Hey, he loves the game of football as much as anybody I've seen. I mean, you get around him, he'll talk to you for an hour. You just go in his office and say, Coach, I got a question. It turns into an hour, 2 hours. You know, Eddie Brown says, hey, when he was going to retire, they talked for 6 hours one day.
Wow.
And he felt like, hey, this guy's more than a coach. He's like my dad, you know, and that's the kind of flavor that these guys really like.
Michael eat at Outback Steakhouse and ride on a plane, unlike John Madden. Firebirds back home for their second home game on Saturday, April 28th. Catch Indiana against the evil Orlando Predators. Good tickets are available. You can visit any Ticketmaster to get yours. Buck, you visit Ticketmaster all the time, don't you?
Every other day.
Or you can just call 239-5151 or catch them online, Ticketmaster.com.
Everybody's going the .com route, so I'm sure you can go that way.
Firebirds checked into comeback.com in the locker room at halftime as they trail by 14 here. That's the downside. The upside is they will receive the second half kickoff from Grand Rapids, Brian Goins. It's been a big half so far, and this Grand Rapids team, Buck, was a question. Even though they were 2-0 in the preseason, they came in and they totally revamped this team for this season.
They got stomped last year at the end of the year, and they gave up. If you look at their average points per game, 51.5 last year. Coach Trigg said, we got to change this. We cannot have the same thing. Brought in 13 new players, Clinton Tozell, the main one, and you can see it's already paying dividends for him in the first game of the year.
All right, we'll see if it can turn around for the Birds here in the second half as Jay Jones is back deep to catch what might be a rebound kickoff. Indeed it is. Off the net. He looks into the lights, makes the play up the middle of the field, gets to about the 11-yard line, and that's where the Birds will open up their first possession for the second half.
Grand Rapids comes down, they get in a cluster and really just try to bowl you over. And then those guys have to, you know, they don't leave the field. They stay on and have to go on and play defense.
I'll tell you what, Buck, we were down on the field before the game, and you looked up into the lights when you're playing one of the rebounds off of the net. It's not an easy catch.
That was a favorable one because it's in the soft net. If it comes off the hard net, man, you got to really be an outfielder and adjust quickly.
Raymond Filiaw back at quarterback again as Greg Hopkins is in motion now down the left side. That's where Filiaw looks. He goes the other way now. He's got Eddie Brown down the sideline, but overthrows him. Nice catch by a fan along the boards, but it'll just be second down and 10 now at the 11 for the Birds.
We're seeing some great catches by the fans as well as the players. I mean, he's excited. Look at him. He looks like he could play some arena football.
That guy's been lifting a couple of protein shakes before the game just to get himself prepared. I think he wants to hit somebody more than catch the next ball.
They're going to have him next week do 100 push-ups in the middle of the field and just come out and flex those buys.
He's a little disappointed. The Conseco Fieldhouse, with all their great refreshments, doesn't offer the yolk shake that Rocky drank. Second and 10. Motion from Hopkins. Filiaw back. He looks. He's got Hop at about the 22. Slips down, gets back up. Down the sideline goes Hop, and they're going to mark him out of bounds in Grand Rapids territory at about the 23-yard line. Third catch of the night for Hop.
What you can do in the outdoor game is you can stop and keep running or run a guy off. What Hop does so well is he's able to put his hand down. You can see this motion right there. One guy goes, the other guy goes over the top. The defender is fooled for a second. Hop puts the hand down and then makes a shake and bake and tries to get away. Scored a touchdown last week. He has that wiggle, that ability to get by a guy and take it on further.
That's the oldest drill in football, isn't it, the hand down?
You put the hand down, you spin, and get the yak, the yards after catch.
I love it when you talk dirty like that, Buck. First and 10 from the 23 for Filiaw. Eddie Brown in motion. He's down the middle of the field. Raymond looks. Back out Eddie. Well, one-handed grab will not stay in the glove.
I like when they run the train, they get in a cluster, guys on top of guys, and Phil Yaw knows that he should have made that play right there.
He had great protection that time.
He did. And see, those are the things that have to be worked out because game speed is so much different than actual practice. You think you're going 100% in practice, but you never are.
Let's give credit to John Sikora and Kyle Moore-Brown, the big fellas up front. Well, they're big old uglies, but I'll tell you what, they were just pass protecting like crazy in there.
And they've really done a good job of keeping him protected, being a secret service agency, so to speak.
Here's Eddie Brown in motion again. There's Phil Yaw, calls his signals. 3-step drop. He's got Eddie at about the 15. He might have gotten forward progress to about the 14 and a half. And it'll be a 3rd down and short yardage now as this drive continues.
This point of the game is who's the most conditioned, who's the most well-conditioned team. And I think the Firebirds think that they out-condition everybody. They really run a lot after practice, do a lot of things. And right here you can see who's going to get tired because you got a lot of guys going both ways.
Not life or death, Buck, but a really big possession here if they can come out and make a statement to start the second half.
This can get your momentum going back where you need to go in a positive direction.
Little loop motion now from Greg Hopkins. Nice hard count, but it doesn't work. Phil Yaw throws, and it's incomplete. It's going to be 4th down and a little bit more than a yard. So what does Mike Daly want to do here?
You got to get Garner's confidence back. And here you're going to see right there, the play right away was covered very well by the Rampage. They worked to that side. They didn't give Hopkins any room to make the play.
You guys along the sideline, I'm telling you what, they may become weapons for the Firebirds before the season is over. They're going to jump over the boards and into the play.
And Tristan Moss, who made that play, likes Richard Pryor, but he didn't seem like a comedian on that one.
36-yard field goal now. As Nelson Garner hits a fake. We called it earlier. Look at that. Raymond Phil Yaw down to the 2.
That's what this guy gives you. That is what he gives you.
That is a great special teams call by the Firebirds.
You know, when I talked to Ernesto Pernsley, the special teams coach, he said, hey, if they show us a look, we'll come here and make something happen. And you can see, look at the blocking by Biggs. Give Biggs some love, and look at Big May going downfield. Raymond Phil Yaw has that ability. You're going to see that line getting good protection because they got to come up the middle. So that means no one is outside. You can see Phil Yaw. Nice.
Mark Valvo will be a hero in the films this week. 1st and goal at the 2 for the Birds. Eddie Brown with the handoff. He's to the left side. He's in the zone. Touchdown! Birds.
Now, Eddie gets excited, and they may call a penalty on him, but I don't think he cares because he's been gone for a little while, Mark. He says, I'm back now.
Touchdown, Eddie Brown into the black end zone at Conseco Fieldhouse. But, you know, we came to see these guys referee, Buck, so let's see what the call is. Wait a minute. If you throw the ball and it goes in the stands, they let the fans keep it.
Exactly.
But because you spike it and it goes in the stands, it's a delay of game penalty.
Well, you know, I think the officials, for some reason, think they're being shown up, but Eddie Brown is excited. Hey, guys, he took off all last year. He's one of the better players. Normally, Michael Jordan got the rules in the NBA. Why not Eddie Brown?
That's right, Buck.
Tell you.
I'll tell you what, you got to love it. They actually put down the little sticker, Nelson Garner, where he wants to kick the football. You might be able to see it on the new AstroTurf here in Conseco Fieldhouse. Here's the extra point, and despite the penalty, he misses. He misses. That could be huge. That's where the touchdown reaction might come back to haunt the Firebirds. Instead of being just down 7, they're down 24-16.
Welcome back to Conseco Fieldhouse. Of course, one of the big differences between the NFL and the AFL, when a football goes into the stands, the fans get to keep it. And I have a young man right here, Drew Hellisty, who actually caught a ball tonight. Drew, what are you planning on doing with that ball?
I don't have a football at my house, so I'm just probably going to play with it and play with my friends. And
I tell you what, guys, he's got good hands, too. I tried to strip it away from him, and he wouldn't give it up.
Yeah, he can throw that around with his Babe Ruth autograph baseball. Unbelievable. Kids these days, Buck, they don't know what they've got. The return on the kickoff from Dion Mitchell for Grand Rapids, and for one of the rare times tonight, the Rampage will start with not so good field position at their own 13-yard line. 7 plays, 39 yards for the Firebirds coming out at halftime to get the touch.
And you can see right here, Phil, y'all, outstanding play by him, but blocking up front. And then the touchdown, just a quick running play with Eddie Brown, gets on the scoreboard for the first time this year. Hey, he's excited. They call a penalty. I don't agree with it.
It's supposed to be the home team, man. They can spike it where they want, right? I mean, when your team mascot's named Spike, you got to go with it. Dozell goes to the sidelines with his first pass of the second half. They're going to call it a catch, but there's a flag back down at the 14-yard line as Deion Mitchell makes a nice grab along the boards.
Deion Mitchell's been working well tonight. He's been doing a good job of making some plays. That one on the other sideline was outstanding earlier tonight.
This looks like it's going to go against the Firebirds, as you see Mitchell with really 2 defenders, as he's got Cedric Walker right there and the wall.
I mean, you can't ask for anything better. I mean, that's like playing catching, you know, in your basement or something where you go over the
Illegal
couches.
defense. The end was drifting on the play. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Hey, do you think the AFL will get rid of the illegal defense the way the NBA is next year?
I don't think so. I mean, going back to my days when I was very little, we played 8-man football. You can't rush outside. These guys have to stay within a confined area. The end can't drift. He can't get certain places. The jack linebacker can't do certain. There's certain principles that you have to adhere to make this game. It's an offensive game, but you can see this score isn't as high as some of you probably thought.
Buck, I'm getting older. I don't have a drifting end, do I? Ball at the 18-yard line now for Grand Rapids. Clint Dozell with a huge first half. Sends Mitchell in motion, looks his way, throws him the quick slant, and Mitchell's got it close to a first down at about the 23-yard line. They'll mark it just short. It'll be second down and about a half yard to go for Grand Rapids.
And you can see right here that motion gets you going, and then you just stop, come back to the ball. And then Cedric Walker has no chance because you got to cover back, but you also say, I got to come up and make the play. And what I think the Rampage are trying to set up is that hitch and go. You're going to see some of that later in the game.
Second down, about a half yard now. The third catch of the night for Deion Mitchell. He's got 32 yards so far. He's in motion now looking for more as Dozell goes back. Throws a quick slant, and it's picked off. It looks as if Jay Jones got the pick, but they call it incomplete, and I think they'll add insult to injury with a flag.
Well, you know, I always thought that you could both go for the ball. It looked like Jay Jones, unless he was holding the receiver, he has equal right to go after the football on the slant.
Be interesting to look at the replay of this one. Interference on Jay Jones. The Bluebirds come out.
You're going to see both of these guys are going for the football. Jay Jones just steps in front. You got to give the defender that opportunity. They don't have any help back deep, people.
And they ought to give him the interception. They caught it on the bounce.
Defense number 5, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, even if it's not an interception, I thought that was a great play, a great break on the ball. The officials, you got to give them some dap too. It's early in the season. Hopefully they'll work that out. But I thought that should be a no call.
You know, from our standpoint here in Conseco Fieldhouse, Buck, we couldn't see the ball hit the ground, so it should be an interception. First and 10. Grand Rapids comes out, hitting again just as they did in the first half. Here comes Mitchell in motion again. Dozell, the quick drop. He looks across the middle, a lot of time, and floats it into the stands for a souvenir.
That's one of the things that Coach Daly talks about also. You know, these guys on the offensive side, they say you got to get rid of the football in this league. You can't hold it and say, I'm going to do certain things with it. You must get rid of it quickly if you don't have it. And that was good pressure by the defense.
Dozell not that mobile. He's not going to put it under his arm and run.
And, you know, the lack of mobility may be one of the reasons why he may not be in the league. Some guys, even though they're not mobile, are shifty enough. Dan Marino did a great job all his career of baiting the rush and not letting them get to him.
Dozell wears the same number, and that's where the comparison ends. 13 on his back, second and 10 on the board. He looks down the field, he throws across, and he's got his man at about the 4-yard line, and that is where Baker goes down.
And see, this is the toughest part of the game. This, you know, when you have a quarterback who can throw the ball effectively, you got guys going deep. And see, Cedric Walker's going to come up. But by the time he gets there, the passing window is so much bigger. You know, instead of 9-foot windows, you got 18-feet windows in this league because the defensive backs don't have any help from up front. They also don't have any help back deep.
And with the limited amount of rushing that can happen, it doesn't give Cedric a lot of room. Third down, a yard to go. Big down for the Firebirds, who need to stop badly here. Gozell with the fake, throws into the end zone. Yes! Michael Baker continues to be a touchdown maker.
Good misdirection play. You know, that fooled everybody. The defense flows one way, the offense goes that way, and then they come back around.
30-16, and the Rampage will look to make it a 15-point lead here.
Gozell is going to start this way and then come back around, and you can see Baker just going to sneak out there. Hopkins can't get back. He wants to get back, but you see right there, all he can do is jump. He can't get behind the receiver. They're playing like a 5 deep in the back. Baker just sneaks through.
That's the first play action we've seen tonight, and it was really effective for Grand Rapids. As Goins tries to add the extra point, he pulls it and gets it between the uprights. 31, Grand Rapids, 16, Indiana. The Birds come back with the football next. On the field, they're invincible, but off the field, they're all too human. Fox Sports takes a look at the athletes you thought you knew. This week, Bill Buckner was known as one of the most courageous players of his time until one nightmarish moment changed his life forever. Find out about the Bill Buckner you never knew tomorrow at 8, Behind the Glory on Fox Sports Net. Off the net now for Van Johnson on the kickoff. He's found the left sideline. Goins to beat, and he knocks him out of bounds, but there's a flag down back at the 14 as Johnson goes out of bounds at midfield.
You know, the Firebirds are killing themselves with untimely penalties.
Right on the money again, Buck, as they get holding. And that'll take the ball even further back into Firebirds territory when they were hoping for good field position.
Well, Van Johnson feels it great, but you're going to see the hole come here in the center of your screen. That could be one right there, and also on the end here. But the one,
number 2, half the distance to the goal.
And actually, they call the one on the outside. Anytime you have kickoff, there's going to be a holding, but it's just who the officials want to call. In that particular case, it was Cedric Walker.
TV tip, Buck, if you're going to circle on the telestrator, it's just like leading a guy with the football. You got to do it ahead of where they're running. First and 10 at the 12-yard line for the Firebirds. Eddie Brown in motion. Quick screen on the sideline. Van Johnson finds a lot of room and gets down to about the 21-yard line. And that'll be a first down for the Firebirds.
When you put Phil, y'all limping a little bit there. When you get Van Johnson in the game, you want to put the ball in his hands because he can really make certain plays that some guys can't make in this league. Thing right here is Phil, y'all has to find a consistency. Right here, Van Johnson, you can see the blocking right there. Hopkins and Eddie Brown out front. They do a great job of blocking. And then Van Johnson made a touchdown last week doing that. They're hoping that they can spring him for a long one again.
Boy, another second or half second on that block from Eddie Brown, and it's a touchdown. Great play nonetheless. It is now first down at the 21 now for the Birds. They look to go into Grand Rapids territory. Phil Yaw with the throw over everybody's head.
That's been the one throw that Phil Yaw hadn't been able to make, the one going back to this sideline. 2 times in a row, he's overthrown Eddie Brown. You got to kind of stick that one in there, and he's unsure if he's going to go with air or go with the quick strike.
Sets up a 2nd and 10 now for the Firebirds. Clock is running. Doesn't stop until the last minute of play or for an injury or timeout. 4:15 remaining in the third quarter. Firebirds down by 15.
See here when they come out of the huddle. Also, too, one guy has to declare. He has to say, I'm the tight end. You don't see it there, but you get the flamethrower. He's the tight end when he declares. Put your hand up.
Phil Yaw with Van Johnson in motion on the left side. Big rush from Avery on the outside. Phil Yaw steps up. He's going to tuck it in, and he gets out to about the 24-yard line, which sets up a third down and about 7 for the Firebirds.
That's the one thing I asked Ed Hotchkiss, the offensive coordinator. do you want Phil Yaw to do some things where he rolls out and kind of looks to run? He said, no, not really, Charles, because in this league, there's not much space. He can't go down and touch the ball. They can hit him. He's live once he crosses the line of scrimmage.
As you can see, the assistant coaches just come out onto the field here in the Arena Football League to call the plays.
And they have to be careful because if there's an interception return, boom, he's splattered all over that board right there.
He needs to make the tackle is what he needs to do. Put him in equipment like they do in baseball.
I've seen those guys jump up on the top of the boards to get out of the way.
Eddie Brown in motion. The pump from Phil Yaw. He throws to Eddie. He's got the catch at the 11-yard line. That'll be a first down. And 4 guys almost lost their life along the board.
And now Eddie's feeling his groove. How Eddie got his groove back. You got to get the ball in his hands. You know, they're trying to take him away. They're doing different things, high, low. Eddie Brown, though, look, they got 2 guys right there, and he gets in this big spot, catches the rock. Ooh, nice play. And that guy's supposed to help him out. Look at Eddie. See, look, guy there. Eddie comes here, makes the catch. Now, that guy's supposed to help put him back in the stand. He didn't even help him, man. Help him out. Give him a hand.
You got to realize Eddie's fighting 5 guys for that football. The defender from Grand Rapids and the fans. They wanted it. First and goal, first and 10, I'm sorry, at the 11-yard line. Van Johnson in motion. He's back on the right side. Phil Yaw looks, throws to Van, touchdown!
Now that was a much better throw by Phil Yaw, and I like that sail route. Instead of going to the corner, they go a little quicker, like a little speed rollout, a corner rollout. Good job by the Firebirds coaching staff of finding niches in the game.
They missed the last extra point, but they'll, at least by the look, go for the 1 here. Let's take a look at the touchdown.
Van Johnson, instead of going to that corner, he rolls that route out, and the defender has no chance. Good throw right there.
Good throw, great pattern. Johnson with 3 catches now for 25 yards, and he's making the most of them. He's got 2 touchdowns on the night. Garner now with the extra point. He nailed this one, and it's 31-23. The Rampage over the Firebirds. But Clint Dozell wants another chance for Grand Rapids. When we come back, we'll see what's shaking. First ever Arena Football League regular season game at Conseco Fieldhouse. And the home team, Indiana Firebirds, much better offensively.
We got the largest karaoke thing going and I've ever heard in the state. They're booing it. Now, the great thing about this is you can make a comeback. You got a lot of time. These guys are really doing a good job of getting back into the game.
Ray D'Alessio's down on the field. Raymond?
Well, guys, before the break, you talked about the coaches being on the field. Before the game, I spoke with offensive coordinator Ed Hotchkiss. He says that with Raymond Phil Yaw's inexperience, it's kind of somewhat of a comforting factor to have Hotchkiss on the field with them, guys.
All right, Ray, and let me just say you are the best dressed guy down on the field tonight. As the Birds kick off, Garner puts this one up into the net, and it will be taken by Ricky Ross. He's down the middle of the field again. He almost tripped up. Garner tries to make the play, and finally Greg Hopkins knocks him out of bounds at the Firebird 15. Great return from Ricky Ross.
You know, the path of least resistance sometimes is the worst path, and I think Ray Jackson on that had 2 guys coming at him. He goes outside. You're going to see right here. He's going to go out here instead of in here to force the play. You got to go in there and get that. That opens that big hole. There's not many people there. Nelson Garner misses the tackle, and you're going to see right here, Hopkins comes over as he's the safety. That's his responsibility.
Ricky Ross may be the offensive MVP so far for Grand Rapids tonight, with 4 kickoff returns that have totaled 112 yards.
The drive start average has been outstanding. They haven't been in the negative hardly at all tonight.
This one starts at the Birds 15. Dozell looks down the right side, now left. He throws as Ross came all the way across the field, bounces off the board and gets it down to the 4-yard line. You can bounce off the board and continue to stay in bounds.
It's like those old bumper cars when you were little and you went to the fairground and the carnival. You're going to see right here, you can bump into anything. You can come into this thing and boom, boom, and come off. See, that he can use the wall as his helper. The defender can use the wall as well and just really smash a guy. Remember the bumper cars?
What about his foot on the out-of-bounds line there,
The key is, though, they didn't see it.
Ah, I see. Laser surgery works miracles, linesman. Use it. First down and goal again for Grand Rapids. Dozell with a pump, throws the other way, and oh man, is that just way too easy. Touchdown, Dion Mitchell.
Now you get two defensive specialists. Both of these guys are excellent players, but what they don't have right now is the continuity and the consistency. They haven't played enough together. And you can see right there, they did it earlier. The play action has worked well. They came back to it again, going the other way with Deion Mitchell.
Let's look at all the traffic that was in the end zone here, and the Firebirds just couldn't keep up with it.
Deion Mitchell just sneaks off from the other side of the field. One of the inside guys has him as a responsibility. They both go to the other receiver. Deion Mitchell wide open for the touchdown.
3 catches, 27 yards, and a touch from Mitchell, as Goins will now go for the extra point. And a little high snap. Not much of a rush, doesn't matter. And the kick is good. It's Grand Rapids 38, Indiana 23. We are at the end of the third quarter of play. The Birds need a big comeback to fly home with their first victory of the year. Can they do it in the fourth? Kickoff from Grand Rapids hits off the board, and it'll be a touchback as the Firebirds get on top of the football. Eddie Brown does a good job of recovering it, giving his team a shot, but bad field position again for Indiana as they'll start their drive, the first of the fourth quarter, at their own 5-yard line. You can still get in on season tickets for the Firebirds' first season here at Conseco Fieldhouse. Great location. Season ticket packages are available. Call 317-915-2500 and ask for info about Firebird season tickets. What a great show it's been tonight. Look at that. You can get your own ball when you go home. First down, 10 at the 5. Hopkins in motion. Filliol with a quick pitch to Leroy Thompson, who comes down the left side. Tries to get out to about the 10 and doesn't quite make the stride.
Last year, the Firebirds averaged 28.1 yards per carry. Now that's almost like 130, per game.
Okay.
130 yards in the NFL. So all they want to do is get some yards, not a lot. The passing game is what drives the AFL offense.
Fans love what they're seeing. They're trying to add a little bit of energy to the Firebirds offense. The offense has not been the problem here in the second half. Raymond Filliol has been very effective. Let's see if he can get a first down here on 2nd and 5 from about the 10. Hopkins in motion on the right side. Filliol, nice pump. Looks downfield now. Middle of the field, wide open. Van Johnson. He makes the catch. It is a touchdown. Birds. Jay Jones.
Wow, Jay square, baby.
Woo. Flag is down, but this one is going to be against Grand Rapids. Illegal defense. That's declined. Touchdown, Birds. What a great call.
Hey, this offense, man, they come up with some great things. I'll tell you this. You fool them with the Eddie Brown. You go to him, you fake it there. And then Raymond Filliol, this is where you get the nice touch pass. Throw that ball down the seam like the big tight end used to catch it. But instead it's Jay Jones going into the house, baby.
I'll tell you what, Jay was only fighting himself right there. That's the worst feeling when you got that forward momentum. You know you got the ball. You just don't want to fall down. He did a great job keeping his feet. All right, thank you very much. Here comes the extra point, as Garner will try and put it on the board. Firebirds can draw within 8, 13:40 remaining in this game. First ever contest at Conseco Fieldhouse. Garner's kick is off the upright, and it is no good. The second missed extra point for the Firebirds here tonight. That one really kills them. It takes them out of a one-possession game. 38-29, the Rampage over the Birds on Fox Sports Net. A great scene in Conseco Fieldhouse as the Firebirds get themselves ready to kick off, trailing this one by 9.
This is key right here. The kickoff return for the Rampage has been outstanding. The Firebirds have to cover on this kick.
Onside kick, and it's up the middle. A loose football, picked up by the Birds. Leroy Thompson gets on top of the football. And it's the Firebirds football. Cornelius Coe is down with an injury at about the 17-yard line. He's holding his right leg, Buck. We'll hope that's not a serious injury, but what a huge call by the Firebirds to come out of what could have been a big downer with a special teams misplay, a missed extra point to get this onside kick.
And you get them off balance. You just dribble the ball right there, and then you got guys coming down. Great try by Cornelius Coe. That's how he gets hurt. He gives his body up. And then Leroy Thompson comes over. Cornelius Cole is one of those guys. You're going to see here. He's flying through the air right there. And he comes down. I think he's going to be all right. But if not, Ray Jackson has to come in on the defensive side to cover for him.
That ball came out of Chris Avery's hands on the knock. And a nice job from Leroy Thompson just to make sure he's got a hold of the football. Birds, first down and 10 at the 4-yard line. Nice onside kick by Garner.
And that should give him some confidence. And I'll tell you, that's why you like Cornelius Cole, because he gives his body up.
Eddie Brown backs up into his own end zone for some yo-yo motion. Philyaw into the black. Looks down the middle. He's got Brown. There's contact, and he makes the catch. Down, Eddie Brown. First down, Birds at the 11.
How do you stop him? You can grab him, you can hold him, you can knock him out of bounds, but he's still going to keep coming back.
Philyaw with great confidence in a guy that has better numbers than any receiver in the history of this league.
Every 3 catches coming into this year, 1 was a touchdown. So look at that outstanding extension. That's what you do. To be a great receiver in any league, anywhere you play, young people, you got to use your hands. And this guy does a great job of it.
Michael Trigg, the Grand Rapids Rampage coach, said before the game.
The defense number 23, penalty is declined, first down.
The key to Eddie Brown, not his speed, not his moves. If the ball is close, he's going to catch it.
He's going to catch it. And the heart and the desire to go get it. I mean, this guy, he loves to play the game of football. He coaches in the offseason. That's the thing. You want guys on your team who love to make plays but also love the game as well.
Firebirds threatening at the 13-minute mark. They need a big score here. Down 9. Philyaw looks into the end zone. Throws. Greg Hopkins is interfered with at the 1. A little too much contact from Tristan Moss. Let's watch Hop. From behind, Tristan Moss will come up and make early contact.
Hop is so smooth, he's going to come here and then go back in. That's a hard route to cover any league, but Hop does it so smooth. We talked about the body control, the body lean, and once again, he's a model, but he's not a pretty boy.
Moss was all over that rock. How can he complain about the call?
Well, Moss, they're going at it. Now they found the guy. They found the weak link. Moss is from Western Michigan. This is his second year in the AFL. And Raymond Philyaw is starting to heat up, people.
You see those numbers starting to climb. 186 yards so far on the night. Hopkins in motion. Down the left side. Philyaw looks that way. Now back right. Tucks it in. Gets down to about the 2. It'll be second and goal at the 2. And that just opens up a few more options.
You give yourself a chance when you have a guy that's going to get you positive yards, not get injured. You don't want him to get hurt because he takes all the snaps. But what he does is, hey, I don't have anybody to throw to. I'm going to make some yards here.
All right, second and 2. Let's see. Last time the Firebirds had this kind of field position, Eddie Brown came up with a great touchdown pass. What's Mike Daly got in the playbook this time? The quick slant to Brown. And this time it's good coverage from number 33, JoJo Pope.
He's a customer service representative in the offseason, but boy, he sure is like a glove, hand on a glove on that one, man. He was right there with Eddie Brown.
All right, this is huge. Third down goal at the 2-yard line. See if they open up the playbook just a little bit here. Leroy Thompson is the back. 1 of 5 on third downs. Not a good percentage so far for the Thunderbirds on the night. Eddie Brown in motion. Philyaw looks. Again, almost runs. He's got plenty of time now at the 10. Lobs it into Leroy. He is there. Leroy Thompson puts down Bird.
We talked about the grits and gravy type of guy. Leroy Thompson, his 6th year out of Delaware, doesn't get a whole lot of recognition. But boy, when he gets a chance to get the ball, he will make it happen. Right here, he's the blocker.
Philyaw made this play. Look at him by time. And then Thompson's able to release.
Thompson's able to release. He has the effect on the backer, but he sneaks out. Philyaw, like we said, does it with his feet, but also with the arm as well.
All right, Garner really needs this extra point for his confidence. He's missed 2, and he hits the cross the upright again for his 3rd miss of the night. The flag is down. Will it be against Grand Rapids, giving Indiana another chance. Gardner is praying that's the case, but it's not. A declined illegal use of hands penalty. Those 3 misses are the difference. The Rampage 38 to Firebirds 35, but the dance is far from over. The 3-point difference you see on the scoreboard with Grand Rapids in the lead due to the 3 misses that Nelson Garner has on extra points.
Great play here. Going down the middle of the field. Jay Jones fighting himself, but he gets in. And then the onside kick. Actually, the missed extra point.
Missed extra point. He hit 96 of 102 last year, did Garner. The onside kick was most effective, and that gave the Birds a chance. Thompson recovered the onside kick, and now there's a loose football in the end zone, and it's a touchdown! Birds!
Unbelievable turn of events in this fourth quarter.
How about the play of Jay Jones as the kickoff is mishandled by Grand Rapids in the end zone, and that means a quick 6 goes on the board, and for the first time tonight, the Firebirds have the lead.
This is where we talk about being so effective off the boards, and see Jay Jones gives him a chance. Then when he sees that ball, he's coming for it. Jay Jones, 2 big plays back to back. Look at this, outstanding. That is what you got to have. Jay Jones, they said his football IQ, he was the second smartest guy behind Pulowski last year, moves up to number 1 this year.
Let's give Garner credit for getting the ball high off the net. It gave his coverage team time to get down there, and it got a great bounce for the Firebirds in the end zone, enabling Jay Jones to get the touchdown. Can Garner put the extra point on the board? Yes! No! 42, 38, it's good. As the Firebirds have a 4-point lead, Garner needed that one very badly.
You know, you can see right there, the receiving team, Mayfield kick, ball off the net. So once that ball goes off the net, you got to get it. Deion Mitchell kind of in a quandary. He says, do I get it? Do I let it bounce off? It bounces over his head. Nelson Garner has struggled in the PAT and field goal department, but as far as getting the ball in motion or the kick there, he's been excellent.
They have found the key to stopping the Grand Rapids offense. Don't let them on the field.
See right there, Deion Mitchell, you know, he doesn't know where the guy is. He has no idea, so he has to jump and try to get the ball at his height. And unbelievable right there.
Ray Jackson did a nice job of getting down the field quickly. He makes the initial contact, and Jay Jones is there to pick up the trash.
And you got to have the garbage man, whether he comes on Monday or Thursday. He's coming on Saturday today.
Very unusual. 9:22 remaining in this game. For the first time, Indiana kicks off with a lead. Off the tight net again this time. Baker makes it clean, and again, great coverage. All of a sudden, the special teams, which have been somewhat woeful for the Firebirds, are on fire.
You got the other guys on their heels, and you also stand in your lane. That time, in particular, every guy was in his proper lane.
Let's take a look at the Dr. Pepper team possessions, Buck.
Now you can see the change of the possessions. Look, Indiana right there, they get to do a great job there. And then the points, the total yards, that's what we talked about earlier. They needed to make a step in the right direction, and you can see the Firebirds have done that.
Clint Dozell feels like he hasn't been on the field at all in the second half, and the crowd noise is already a factor. Ricky Ross simply ran past the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped.
The Birds have scored 19 points in this quarter.
And we still have 8:54 remaining.
The offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Let's just take a look at the replay.
Mitchell goes in motion.
That's on the right side, and they had the same on the left side.
Exactly.
They had Ricky Ross on the left side, and on the right side, Deion Mitchell both took off.
And Dozell tried to call a timeout, but he couldn't get to it quick enough. You know, the one thing is we thought we would see a game like the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat, at least in scoring. It's getting up there, baby.
1st and 15 now for Grand Rapids from their 6. Dozell, a pump, he throws deep, he looks for it all, CC tips it away.
Now that's the kind of play that you're used to seeing this guy make. Outstanding play by Cornelius Coe.
You can see Cornelius Coe getting more and more comfortable in that secondary with every play.
He talked about it. AF2 was a lot slower for him. He said it was so much easier. He said this game is faster, got bigger guys. He said I have to really be on my game, play in and play out.
2nd down and 15 rather, at the 7. Dozell looks, throws across the middle, wide open, but taken up by Walker,
who lets C-Dub out. I mean, he comes over and lays a hammer on Michael Baker. I want to be the touchdown maker.
Baker is the shaker on that. Listen to the hit in the sounds of the game. Ouch.
Hey, if you play receiver, you got to come across the middle. And sometimes you're going to, the same thing that'll make you laugh can make you cry.
You'd think he was on the Jim Rome show. Rack him. 3rd down, 15. Dozell looks, throws across the middle, wide open is Mitchell rather. And Deion Mitchell has the 1st down, a huge 1st down to the Firebird 21-yard line. Big play there by Clint Dozell.
They play into Cornelius Coe's responsibility. He's the deep man. He has to cover everything back here. So that guy, Deion Mitchell, is going to come and just push him off, just run him all the way off, and you can see he has to get back. He's a free safety in effect, but he has coverage on that inside slot receiver.
Huge momentum swing with one play as the Firebirds were in total control. Baker in motion down the left side. Quick toss, and Mitchell's got it down to about the 12-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2.
I mean, they don't care how they throw the ball. They just want to get it out there. Dozell, I mean, that was a knuckleball, so to speak.
That was Joe Cap throwing that ball, Buck.
That's what it looked like.
End over end in the old Minnesota Viking days. I'd like to see Dozell out there with just the 1 bar and no chin strap the way Joe Cap looked.
You know, this guy's moving up the all-AFL chart. I mean, he is consistently moving, and Mike Wilpott right there, the defensive coordinator, has to come up with some answers to these big questions Dozell was putting out.
2nd and 2, Baker in motion. Dozell finds him, and he's got a 1st down to the 6. CC could not get up there quickly enough, and Baker makes the nice catch.
Early in the game, the Rampage were running quick slant routes. Now they're really pushing the guys because they know they have to cover deep. They've been burned a few times, so now they're making them play into their coverage and just picking them apart underneath.
This drive has been eating the clock up. Only 5.5 minutes remaining in this game. They're playing from behind for the first time tonight as the Firebirds have gone on a 19-point rampage themselves in this quarter. And there is a penalty flag, and it looks like perhaps a motion penalty against Grand Rapids.
Snap, 93 offense, ball start, still 1st down.
A little bit too much motion for Ethan Banning. When you weigh 292 pounds, you can't flinch. You're going to be noticed.
You can't go and come back. The other thing about the AFL this year is that instead of 3 and 8-yard penalties, everything is 5 or 10. There are no 15-yard penalties since the field is so much shorter than the outdoor game.
I'm not a very smart man, Buck, but that seems like a good thing to do. 1st down, Dozell across the middle, touchdown, Grand Rapids, Deion Mitchell. Wow, that looked too easy.
I tell you what, they had him on their heels this time. Umar Muhammad, though, if they have, his helmet comes off on the rush. I mean, he's coming inside right here. He's rushing, helmet flies all over there. I mean, he's really inside right here. Cedric Walker, though, not able to get underneath. The thing is, if you work inside, which the Rampage like to do, they've worked the inside with slants, they've done that, and then they come back out hard. It's awful tough to come back and make that play.
Really good pass protection for Dozell, giving him time to let the pass pattern develop all the way across the field as Grand Rapids goes for the extra point. It is good. With 4:17 left, the Firebirds trail again. Can they come from behind? The Rampage 45, the Birds 42. Every Sunday before the green flag drops, it's NASCAR This Morning, the best pre-race tailgate party this side of Talladega. We'll preview the latest developments trackside and get you ready for the week's race. NASCAR This Morning tomorrow at 10 a.m. here on Fox Sports Net. Van Johnson heads back into the end zone, hoping that once again the Firebirds can come up with a big special teams play, Buck, trailing by 3 with 4:17 remaining.
He's the man you want to have, but you look at Goins right here. Instead of in the middle of the field over here, he moves the tee all the way over. The reason why, you got that big thing up at the top, the scoreboard, he doesn't want to kick it. He may cross kick it over or kick it to the other side, but he has less of a chance with the trajectory to hit the top.
I tell you what, if you're just watching this game tonight on Fox Sports Net and you haven't had the opportunity to get down to Conseco Fieldhouse and see arena football in person, it is an awesome sight. Non-stop action to boot, but it's amazing how fast these games go, Bub. There's a kick by Goins. He's got this one into the net. Van Johnson with a quick break off of it, comes down the middle of the field, gets outside, but a nice tackle is made. Once again, Ethan Banning with the play, and the Firebirds will have to start out at their own 11-yard line.
You don't want the Firebirds to slow down, but you don't want to leave too much time on the clock either. You want them to eat as much of it up as they can, score the touchdown, and then try to put this game out of reach.
A lot of quick strike capability in the orange tonight. Not the least of which is touchdown Eddie Brown, who is split right. Hopkins and Van the man to the left. Joined now in motion by Eddie. Philyaw back, looks, nice hop, throws it across the middle. Wide open is Van Johnson. That is a blown coverage resulting in touchdown.
Every time they run that route, they've been open. And Van Johnson is the outside guy. They're going to show a cluster route. There was some confusion in the defensive secondary for quite a bit.
Okay.
And they didn't, I said use the clock. They didn't listen to me.
No, I tell you what, though. If you can get the touch,
you got to do it. Whatever
you got to
it takes.
take it. All right. Now, an extra point becomes very important here because the Firebirds lead by 3. This would give them a 4-point cushion. Garner has missed 3 extra points tonight. This one is up. It is good. 49-45 Firebirds, 2:54 left.
You're going to see Philyaw from his angle. He's looking back. He makes a nice move. Good blocking there. They protected him well. He throws the ball. He gets smashed, but Van Johnson is running down the field uninhibited. What happens here is that they're in a cluster situation. Van Johnson sneaks out. You got to have a man on this guy because he can really make. They call him Super Van. That's his nickname.
All right, Buck, I got to say it just once and get it out of the way. I could have made that throw. That's how open he was.
Yeah, with the guy in his face, though, that's one of the things. Van Johnson was open, but the key is getting the ball out there with Raymond Philyaw.
Yeah, he made a nice little dance to get a lot of time and find Johnson. Good numbers for Philyaw in his debut here tonight. 13 of 22, 4 touchdowns, and 221 yards.
You know, sometimes the point guard has to score points. Sometimes he has to do things. He is a point guard in this offense. They have 5 potential players that can score at any time. You get the ball to this man, you get it to Eddie Brown, you get it to Hop, you get it around the field, and let those guys do the rest. I like how Raymond Philyaw has handled this offense tonight.
Van Johnson with those 3 touchdowns. Just 5 short of what Eddie Brown did to start the year a year ago in the opener. The kickoff is off the middle of the net, bounces off a step. It's a loose football, and did the Birds recover again? Yeah!
See, everything comes into play in the field. It hit off the actual cement. If we see this on the replay, you'll see it actually hit off the cement part of the net because that's a loose net.
Now they're calling an odd ground rule. They're saying because it did hit off that step. between aisles 20 and aisles 1 of Conseco Fieldhouse. Here's the replay right there off the concrete. Then it will be a touchback. Wow, would that have been huge?
Boy, you can see right here, it hits right off of that step.
That's nice. That's nice. Buck, I've never seen the telestrator used so well.
Are you giving me a rough time or you being honest? I don't never know with you. You know what I'm saying?
Unbelievable. 1st and 10. Grand Rapids down 4, trying to get back in it. The ball is knocked to the ground. Gozell unhappy, saying that the Firebirds were out of the box.
No, where he threw that ball, Hopkins has made, I think, about 5 touchdowns in his career off of that particular play. One of the better H-jacks in the league, meaning he's a receiver and a linebacker, jack linebacker. You're going to see.
Let's see what Hop does right here.
He does this in practice. He's not out of the box. You can see that guy there. He can't get outside of him. He's there and makes the play.
Gotta love anybody out of Slippery Rock. Greg Hopkins, the veteran, with the big play here. 2nd and 10, Grand Rapids. Dozell across the middle, a floater, and Ross has got the catch at about the 16-yard line. 1st down.
See, the only underneath coverage that you have are the jack linebackers. They have to jump and try to deflect the ball. Now, Dozell has done a good job of putting it over the jack linebacker, whether it's Sacco or Greg Hopkins.
Let's see if you're right on your call about the Birds scoring too quickly, Buck. About a minute and a half remaining now, and Grand Rapids on the move, 1st and 10. In motion, Ricky Ross. Dozell goes to the right side. He's got Blackshear along the sideline. He's pummeled along the pads, but short of a 1st down to about the 24-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and about 3.
You know, Hopkins goes over there and smashes that guy on the board. I'll tell you what else he does. He works at his family store in the offseason, so if anybody comes and robs the place.
Which they tried to do in the offseason, and all of a sudden, the model/arena player, Hopkins, comes out, and the guy ran for his life. There is the 1-minute warning. We saw in the 1st half what could happen. We saw last week in the exhibition finale for the Birds what can happen at the 1-minute warning. Let's hope the Firebirds can stay alive with their 4-point lead over the Rampage.
And let's give some credit to Kyle Moore-Brown, Ricky Hall, Chris Snyder, those guys up front, as well as the MAC linebacker, Leroy Thompson. They've done a better job of putting pressure on the quarterback.
Here are those quarterback numbers so far, as Clint Dozell has had a big night in the attempts department, 26-39, but not as many yards as the Birds have put on the board. 197, but 6 touchdowns.
And he's thrown for as many as 479 yards in the game before, so they're holding him down below his average.
He looks to the left side, he throws out there, and he's got his man. And once again, Rodney Blackshear gets the 1st down for Grand Rapids, and the clock is stopped with 54 seconds left.
Now see, on the flip side now, if the Rampage, if they score quickly, then the Firebirds get the ball. So this is where the game slows down a little bit, but you got to stick around because touchdowns come fast and furious.
Clock is restarted now. It stops for 1st downs, it stops for timeouts, it stops for incomplete passes only in the final minute of the half. Ross with the catch on a quick slant, and he finds the zone. Oh, a little fall in the spring here in Indianapolis, and the Rampage go back on top.
Nice play by Ricky Ross. You know, what he does there is get underneath, catches the ball, has all those defenders, and makes 4 people miss.
Goins with a big extra point here, Buck, because he could make it a 3-point game.
That's a walk-in closet type of move. He has 8 guys in the walk-in closet. Now just get over the end line, but able to get out and not get touched by any of them.
All right, here is that extra point. Boy, the PATs have been big here tonight. Goins splits the yellow post, and it's Grand Rapids 52, the Firebirds 49. Will the home team have an answer as time winds down in the inaugural AFL game in Indianapolis? It is everything they said it would be tonight at Conseco Fieldhouse. Grand Rapids 52, Indiana 49. 34 seconds remain in the 4th quarter of this one, and that man has been the difference tonight, believe it or not. the kicking for Grand Rapids of Brian Goins. But Indiana will get the kickoff from Goins this time, barring a bad bounce, which we've seen get the Firebirds back into this game. 34 seconds for Raymond Filyaw and the offense of the Indiana Firebirds to make something happen here.
Well, when you get the ball in the Van Johnson's hands, and even Eddie Brown who's back there, things can happen quickly with some blocking up front and with the middle guys. That's how quickly the game can change here.
Kickoff's big. Good field position would make things a lot easier for the Firebirds to make up that 3-point deficit. Here's Goins' kick. It's into the net. Johnson sees it get caught up in the net, and that is not good news for Indiana. It means they'll have 45 yards to pay dirt, 34 seconds to do it.
Best kick of the night by Goins. Finally gets one where it gets stuck in there, and that's an automatic touchback.
So here we go. As it does so many times in the Arena Football League, it comes down to the last couple of the possessions. Mike Daly, the veteran coach of the Birds, has seen it so many times in the past. Here comes Filyaw. He's got Hopkins to the right with Van Johnson. He comes in motion. 1st and 10 at the 5. Filyaw looks. He's going deep. He wants it all. Off the bat and incomplete. As Van Johnson just couldn't catch up to that football. A little bit too much under that one.
Van Johnson, he outran Tristan Moss, but Filyaw puts a little bit too much air that he can't get underneath it.
Filyaw tonight, now 13 of 23, 227 yards, 4 touchdowns compared to Clint Dozell's 7 touchdowns. He wants the 5th so very badly with 29 seconds left in this game. 2nd and 10. Eddie Brown in motion. Filyaw looks his way. Throws it to Eddie. He's got it at the 24, to the 20. Caught from behind and brought down at the 15 as it was a nice saving tackle by Rodney Blackshear. And the clock will stop with 22 seconds left.
The other thing that comes into play is that Nelson Garner has struggled with the field goal. You almost want to score a touchdown to take it out of his hands, but if it comes down to it, you have to rely on him, one of the better kickers in the league.
Clock stops for the 1st down. The Firebirds don't use a timeout. It's running. Filyaw back, looks into the end zone. He's got it! Tipped away. Incomplete. Wow. Eddie Brown almost came down with this football, Buck.
Eddie Brown, if you want to learn a swim move, watch this guy. Gets over right there. Tristan Moss with good coverage. Eddie Brown almost comes down with the football off the deflection.
He has made that catch so many times. And this is not bad field position for the Firebirds to have right here because they got enough room, a little bit of cushion to find that end zone right now. They won't be limited with their wide receiver movement.
You're exactly right. They don't have to worry about, they can still run the post corners and not have to worry about doing sail routes, which you probably see down in this part of the field.
Eddie Brown in motion now. Filyaw back again. Looks at Eddie. He's got him open in the end zone. Incomplete. A heartbreaker as Eddie just could not bring the ball down, fighting the corner and the DB.
The post corner route we talked about. You're going to see Eddie Brown run in and then post corner. He goes to the post and then goes to the corner. Right there, it's just out of his reach. He goes up with one hand and tries to tap it back. Right here at the end, you go to the pylon, almost right through his hand. And he's going to say, I should have had that football.
If our camera guy catches it in the corner, does he get to keep the football, Buck?
I think he does.
We've just got 11 seconds left in this game, and all of a sudden it's getting tight. Hopkins in motion down the right side. Filyaw throws, and it's way over the head of Hopkins, and it comes down to one play. 7 seconds left. The Firebirds have their timeouts, and they're not going to take a chance on 4th down. They're going to put it into the hands, and even more so, the right foot of Nelson Garner, who has been tonight shaky at best, and Raymond Filyaw will be the holder, and he hurt his right wrist on that play.
He was holding his wrist all the way back. That could be a bad sign, especially when this game goes. He's got to hold the ball And you can see right there, he's clearly hunching over. His wrist is hurting.
The Firebirds had a fake earlier in this game, Buck, but this is not the position they can get 10 yards off of a fake. They would not try that because the clock would run out with just 7 seconds, right? They're definitely going to try to kick, but will Philyaw be able to hold?
That's really the key, and that's who Garner is comfortable with, and he's already struggled. You don't want to have somebody else have to come in, so now they have to try to wrap this thing up and make it feel as comfortable as he can. You can see the trainers right there working on him, trying to get him to feel comfortable in the situation.
Backup quarterback is John Rayburn, the 6'2", 230-pounder out of UTEP. Not a bad day for Clint Dozell.
You can see Rayborn down on the field getting some snaps. The other thing about that is that with that right hand, watch Rayborn put his right hand up. That's the hand that you got to catch the ball with. You hold that one up. So that's the one that's going to have the impact of the ball initially.
Well, it looks like Philyaw is going to take it. And these kickers, Buck, get about twice as much time as an NFL kicker because the rush can only come up the middle, and there's usually pretty effective blocking. So we'll see what happens here. This is going to be about a 31-yard attempt. Eight-yard end zone. The kick is good! 1 second remains, and the Firebirds tie it with the clutch kick from Nelson Garner, who makes up for his 3 missed PATs with the biggest clutch kick of the night for the Bears. And that is the end of regulation as the Firebirds kick off. A kickoff for the score, so with just that 1 second left, the buzzer sounds, and the Rampage and the Firebirds are tied at 52, and we go to overtime. And what a clutch kick by Nelson Garner, who had struggled, to say the least, missing 3-point-after touchdowns, which had cost the Firebirds the lead, but given the opportunity for the 31-yard field goal at the end, Buck, he nails it.
You felt bad for a guy like this. I mean, he's an outstanding person. They really call him the choir boy of the group, but he was really struggling, and he makes the redemption kick. He had to come back with it. Clutch kick for him. Good job there. Now you get into overtime situations.
Rules are different than the NFL. Each team will get 1 possession here. So if the first team scores, the other team still has a chance to tie the game or go ahead. If the teams are tied after 1 possession apiece, then it becomes sudden death. The next team to score will win the game. Bad news or good news, however you want to look at it right now, is that Firebirds quarterback Raymond Philyaw is injured. He was holding his right wrist. He was able to make the hold for Nelson Garner's game-tying field goal, but John Rayborn, the backup quarterback out of UTEP, is getting loose.
Well, they have to be in a situation where if Philyaw cannot go, you don't want him to injure that wrist anymore if it's just a situation where it's, you know, tweaked a little bit, so to speak, where he can come back next week.
I tell you what, John is a veteran. You know why? He knows enough to get out there without the helmet on, to get the good FaceTime on the tube. He's got the good-looking goat, and he says, hey, the chicks dig me. I'm a backup quarterback in the AFL. I can't be covering it up with a helmet.
I tell you what, you know, the thing is in football, you always have the helmet on. So John comes out, takes it off, throws the rock a little bit. Everybody can see my face. And now Philyaw's warming up over there as well.
Raymond is trying out that wrist. He hasn't had it taped, and he's struggling with it a little bit. That looks like something that might get x-rayed after the game.
The problem with taping it also is it's his throwing hand, so he doesn't want to have anything inhibiting his ability to flick the wrist.
That ball does not look comfortable coming off his hand. Now, the coin toss is important in the second possession, Buck, because if teams are tied after each gets a possession, then whoever wins the toss is going to get that ball first.
Exactly. They call it the fairness of overtime. So both teams get an opportunity. Then, like you said, after that, it becomes sudden death. First team scorer wins.
No one is left here tonight. I'll tell you what, really nice crowd in the first ever regular season game in Indianapolis. And I'll tell you what, they may pay more money for their tickets as they leave tonight. It's been that good.
In honor of the rolling blackouts in California, it's just like at home. You know, when the street lights came on, you had to go home. Well, these lights will probably turn off because we're trying to conserve energy for California. I forgot, we're not doing that. But anyway, they got to get this game going.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying basically the street lights are on. But after both teams get a chance, you know how you said next person scores wins. Because if you don't get home, your mom is going to whoop you, your dad is going to beat you up or something. So,
man, a lot of positive thoughts coming out of Charles Arbuckle here tonight in overtime. Firebirds and Rampage tied at 52, and the Firebirds and Coach Mike Daly have won the toss, and they'll receive.
And then the substitution pattern comes into play because now Van Johnson has played. You see Jay Jones going back.
Now, we'll see what happens with the kicks. Needless to say, kickoffs in the Arena Football League have proven to be a lot more exciting than those of the outdoor variety.
Well, you know, they've always tried to make that exciting, and at some points they are. But with this, the stadium actually plays an important role. It becomes a ninth man, or it can become an adversary for you, so to speak.
All right, deep for the Firebirds is Jay Jones. He's going to have to play this one off the net. It comes down with a big hop. Jay fields it at the 1, looks at the defender, breaks outside, and gets almost to the 5-yard line. And at least he's got the football, but it's bad field position for the Birds. Let's go down to Ray DeLessio.
Well, Mark, the word from the Firebirds bench is that Raymond Filial hit his hand on a opposing player's helmet. He is fine. He's going to be back in the game.
All right, so many times that happens, but with quarterbacks, and we've seen a lot of broken thumbs through the years.
You got to hope that it's just a temporary thing where, like I said, he tweaked it a little bit, and he's back in there trying to throw that ball down the field.
He was warming up, and it didn't look comfortable coming off his hand. 14 of 27 for 256 yards and 4 touches on the night. He'll throw from his own end zone this time. Saves his feet, gets the ball. Greg Hopkins incomplete about the 12-yard line.
Good job by Filial of avoiding the rush. I mean, the Mac backer came up the middle and just exploded on the fullback. You're going to see this at the end of it. Filial gets away, and he's falling down. Hopkins almost comes up with the catch.
You know, safety would pretty much end the game. Even though each team would get another possession, they would have no way, I guess, except on the kickoff, perhaps, if you're covering an onside kick. Filial looks at a 2nd and 10 in overtime in Indianapolis. He's back in his own end zone. He's looking for it all from touchdown Eddie Brown, and it's overthrown again. He hasn't thrown that deep ball well tonight, and he's got the injury now that's obviously affecting him.
Well, now you have a situation where you got to get the first down because that's an awful long kick. You got to come up with 10 yards to keep this drive alive.
Firebirds have really struggled on 3rd down tonight, just 2 of 6 in 3rd down percentage. 3rd and 10, none have been bigger than this in overtime. 52-52, Firebirds and Rampage. Hopkins left, Brown left in motion. Filial throws, Eddie, first down, and he gets the ball down to about the 17.5-yard line, and that was really a big possession play.
I'll tell you another thing, Mark, that they've done is they put in 2 big guys in as the linebackers, but Eddie Brown here, excellent route running. He pushes the defender off, stops, comes back to the ball. We said they needed 10 yards, picks it up, and then some.
You know, Moss, you would think, would know that Eddie Brown was just looking to pick up the first down there rather than the touch. But he bit on the deep fake.
He has to, because Eddie Brown has made such big plays all throughout his career. You have to respect the guy that's coming full speed at you.
6 catches, 55 yards tonight for Eddie. Filial with a 1st and 10. Hopkins in motion. Quick screen to Eddie, and he's not going to get anywhere this time. And he's pulled down for about a 4-yard loss. They'll mark it at the 14-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and big for the Birds.
Jay Jones has a block there, but he knocks the guy right into Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown doesn't get a chance to come back out, so they lose 3 yards on that play.
That wide receiver screen, Buck, is all coming to a head on that one block. If it's made to the right side, you can get a quick touch. But if it's not, you get the quick loss.
Exactly. It's a feast or famine type of play. You're either going to make a lot of yards or you're not going to make many at all.
Greg Hopkins in motion this time. Leroy Thompson is the back. Filliol with a hard count. He may have drawn him offside. The flag is up in the air. He's going for it all. He's got Hop. Touchdown!
They always tell you in football, don't give up on the play. When those guys jump off sides, the Firebirds are thinking, hey, it's our opportunity to go deep.
There are 2 flags down now, but they are offside, both of them, against Grand Rapids. And here we go again. Here we go again. Nelson Garner will have to kick the extra point.
Look at all this field over here. Raymond Filliol, even with the hurt hand, throws that ball in a nice place. Also, the defender, Tristan Moss, looks like he slows down somewhat. You're always taught in football, you keep going. I mean, you go jump on that guy if you have to, because it's a free play for the offense if the defense jumps offside.
Here we go. It has cost the Birds dearly tonight. The point after touchdown, which is just virtually a certainty in the NFL. Garner, the hold by Filliol, the kick, it's good. So the pressure is on now after the 34-yard touchdown from Raymond Filliol to Greg Hopkins. The Rampage trail it by 7. Can they tie it next in overtime? 59 points for the Indiana Firebirds in their AFL debut in Indianapolis. Grand Rapids has put 52 on the board, but too many weapons so far tonight offensively for Indiana.
I'll tell you, it was also a little move with Hopkins. He just pushes the defender just enough and pushes him into his area and then breaks out. Great play by him. That's why he's been one of the better players in the Arena Football League for quite a bit, because he's able to play offense and defense and then give Eddie Brown an opportunity for them not to double cover.
We've seen him do a great job from his linebacking position on the defensive side of the football rather tonight. Here comes the kickoff now from Garner. Grand Rapids has a chance to tie this game and then send it to sudden death in overtime. They get a great kickoff return again to give themselves good position as Ricky Ross, who's done it all night long, brings it to the 23-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10.
Tonight, the drive start average has been their 22-yard line.
It is really, really huge, especially in overtime, to give somebody like Clint Dolezal this kind of field position. He has been everything is advertised. 28 of 43, 7 touchdowns. The Birds don't want to see number 8 go on the board here in overtime. Dolezal looks at Baker in motion, pumps that way. He goes the other side. Nice catch on the left sideline as Deion Mitchell takes it to about the 14. It'll be 2nd and inches.
A little bit of razzle-dazzle here also coming into your living room. Dolezal goes one way, then comes back the other way. You can see Cedric Walker has to respect the threat of Deion Mitchell, comes up and tries to make the play off the board.
Buck, the people in Carmel say it's coming into their great room. 2nd and inches. Dolezal with big old Lincoln Coleman behind him. Baker in motion. He's got the quickie, and he gets down to the 6. Well, that's a play you use a lot in intramural football, and it's worked well for Grand Rapids tonight.
You play into their responsibility. You know they got to back off. They got to respect the speed and everything. You've done quick all night inside. Now you just come off and just do quick again, change it up. And this offense for the Rampage have done an excellent job of doing that as well.
6 yards to the glory land for Clint Dolezal. If he finds touchdown number 8 tonight, the extra point would tie the score. He pumps. He's got Ross. He's got 6. Ricky Ross. A nice inside-out move for the touch.
Now, I don't think this will come into play, but if you drop kick it, you get two points. But they said,
that's a rarity.
That's a very, very much a rarity. You're going to see Dolezal pump fake right there. The post, see, they've run that slant all night. Come inside, then you go to the back pylon.
They're going for two. They're going for two. Grand Rapids wants to win this one right now. The Birds can end this game with a stop. 2 yards for 2 points. Can Clint Dozell pull it off for the Grand Rapids Rampage? Mitchell in motion. Dozell looks into the end zone. He's flushed out. He's got it. Mitchell gets the 2, and Grand Rapids wins it. 60-59 in overtime over the Indiana Firebirds. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Great strategy when it works. And how many times do you see the visiting team take the gamble? They don't want to go any more time than necessary, because if they just tied it, the Firebirds would have gotten the kickoff, and the next team to have scored would have won.
You can see the coverage right there. Cedric Walker can't be any closer. Everybody's covered up. Dozell puts it only where Deion Mitchell can catch it. Unbelievable throw and catch.
The fans file out of Conseco, unhappy that their team lost, but very happy at the show put on by their Indiana Firebirds tonight as they lose 60-59 in overtime to the Grand Rapids Rampage. Great performance from Clint Dozell. The Rampage will come back for the second Arena Football League next week in Milwaukee. Local TV coverage on WB4. The Fox Sports Net Firebirds coverage is May 4th as the Dragons visit the Firebirds. Mark Patrick for Charles Arbuckle from Fox Sports Net. Good night from Conseco Fieldhouse.